Do you guys remember when the Catholic
Get
Church
this book
tried
and
telling the
learn how to go
public
to
that
hell.
D&D is about slaying demons and going to hell and taking over your children's lives? Well, now it can!
You ever been told to go to hell?
With the descent into Avernus, this could be the demonology game for you.
Hey, hi, hello. My name is Prowant, and welcome to our D&D show, Friends and Fireballs.
Hey!
There we go. I said
Hey,
it right
got
for
it.
once. Sounded good, smooth, coming off the tongue.
Something like that.
Yeah. So, today we got a couple announcements that we're going to go over before we get into today's live stream. So,
We're not live streaming.
yeah, we're not live streaming, but we will be. We got an announcement about that. So, Mason, you have the first announcement.
Yeah. So we're giving this thing away right here that I've been flipping through. Descent into Avernus is the newest Dungeons and Dragons setting or story. It's basically if somebody's ever told you to go to hell, well now you can. So it's like the first level of hell, and it's we're giving this away. To find out, halfway through when we take our break, we'll have the details.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
October 30th will be our official streaming of this. It will be live from there on out. Or at least that's the game plan.
And
October 30th.
Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
At Friends and Fireballs.
Yeah. What you
And
said.
Say it
I
louder.
think that's
Friends
all.
and Fireballs, baby! Yeah!
And I think that's all of our announcements today. So let's just get right into it. I'm going to flip to this page and help. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh!
Okay.
Wait. Wrong
That's
character.
Wrong campaign.
Wrong
Okay.
character. Get the other character out. Sorry, guys.
So
Can I borrow yours? I can grab one.
Yeah.
last we left this group of souls that are beginning to intertwine for the first time. They entered a dream after going on a mission for this Sirocco fella, this kind of interesting, eccentric tavern owner that owns an enchanted tavern. Y'all decided to help him because maybe that was a way out of here, or maybe it's a good way to earn some money, or whatever reasons you may have had. While in the dream, you were told that your task was to retrieve 3 people who were inside of this gentleman's dream, whose name was Equinix. Equinix was the dreamer, and you entered this white stone room where he was asleep, and all of you sat down and magically entered his dream. Once you got there, you immediately met the beast that lives inside his mind, a rook.
I want to know why he dreams about rooks.
This may be something to bring up later, for sure. But to finish out the recap, the rogue was carrying your targets that you had noticed, and so you followed it to the tree that was in this dream. On inspection and trying to figure out how to get up this tree, you encountered a nest of spiders where we almost had the first TPK of the campaign. So
Oh, shit.
Session 2.
and but a lot happened. Maybe you kind of learned a little bit about how each other works, not just as players, but as characters as well in game. Somehow you decided to stick together and see this thing through, and you climbed up to the top of this tree where you saw a baby bird and the 3 targets you were looking for. As you stealthily made your way in, you began to extract these people. The rogue fell upon you and took everything you had to get out the portal after you summoned Ribbon, your grung frog-like man, traveler person that Sirocco had coordinated your extraction with. And in a very deft, quick, and strategical exit, the rogue had knocked unconscious Kai as it pierced your back, and eventually you all made it through with 3 of the targets, an additional target, an elven paladin, and of course, Kudzu, everybody's favorite tygoon, or tycoon, or Ryger. I don't know what we landed on.
I think we landed on Tycoon.
Okay.
That's what you were saying most of the episode.
Yes. Tycoon. I guess that's what we landed on. Anyways, good recap. One of you is unconscious on the floor. There seems to be a lot of chaos as this beak slides through into this white stone room as the sigil, this glyph that was your means of teleportating through into this, back into the tavern, into this room. All of you in your dreamlike forms are face to face with your physical form, sitting in chairs on different parts of the room. There's 4 people who came in and a tycoon and Sirocco holding a drink, and he drops it and he doesn't know what to make of the situation. He's still trying to figure it all out. I'm sure each of you are. Meanwhile, the dreamer sits up slowly and he looks around the room. What would you like to do?
So I'm here. And I'm there.
This is the same thought that might be crossing all of your minds.
If my dream, if I'm unconscious, can I try being Fey ancestry and all that? Can I try to wake up?
Unfortunately, because you're unconscious from an attack, I don't... Oh, you're talking about your physical form.
The one that we're staring at. Yeah. Well, I know I'm unconscious, but I'm asking. Well, you know what? You know what? I'm unconscious.
I don't think. I know it's a
Do
trippy,
I
and I'm glad to have this encounter because
Maybe
I
it's
don't think it would work
subconsciously
because
unconscious.
your mind is what entered the dream. Your mind is currently out of the dream, outside of your body.
Brain dead. Got it.
Yeah, you're unconscious.
So I went out before you, correct? Or did I go out before?
I pulled him out.
I'm pretty sure me and you were like one of the first 2.
Yeah, because I had to actually get there.
I was
So
last.
yeah.
Just put that out there.
So I would see that I would know that he's unconscious.
Yes.
I'll
Sirocco. Oh, go ahead.
I'll say I'll go over to him and cast Cure Wounds at level dose.
Okay.
We haven't benefited from a long rest yet, have we?
Correct.
Just making sure.
Go ahead and roll the hit dice.
5. Is it plus? No, it's just straight D8. Oh, plus my spellcasting modifier. Neat.
That's a lot.
A lot better than.
That's a lot better than 5.
Yeah, because I was like, man, that was disappointing. Plus 6,
As-
11.
Jeez.
As
Okay.
you bend down to cast a spell upon his mind form of his body,
Mind form, the mind form.
his dream-like mind form that is existing outside of his body is now stirring awake.
I immediately grab.
And you just see like me, just like, so you're like laying down, I'm like just crouched over you, my hands are on the side of your head.
Oh, okay.
And you see light bulb.
So
I remove your hand slowly and just look around. And then I grab my water skin and I do my shape water cantrip and I hydrate myself. A full coppin.
I just like take your head and go, and I point to your body over there.
Is anybody else fucking seeing that?
yes.
Say it's a reflection of yourself.
I'm glad.
Is it still there?
Yeah. Did you wake up and wait? Or did you walk up and slap yourself?
Yeah.
As your hand touches your face, you are pulled into your body.
Holy shit.
Your eyes jerk awake, and your physical form and your mind are now one in the room. Soroka says, I was going to suggest each of you do that, but not exactly like that. But I don't know how wise it is to spend much time outside your physical form, especially if you're not trained in that way. It's up to you, though, what you want to do. Get back in there.
Do we look like our physical selves, or are we like?
You actually,
Do we have the
this is a great
capacity to
point.
turn
What I
into
was
life?
going to mention,
If
Whenever-
I look over at her, does she look like her physical form, or is there like an etherealness to her?
each of you looks like either the best or worst versions of yourselves. Like, think about if you hadn't seen yourself in years and you were looking through a mirror or something and like you had this perspective of who you are, that's who every one of you see, is that perception of yourself. It's kind of really like something weird to think about for a sec, but that's your characters. What they're doing is the actual form that they're seeing of themselves might actually be different because of the way you might perceive yourself as more hideous or beautiful than you think. And that's something that each of you see. So I don't know. You tell me.
Oh God, I have no face.
Do you imagine yourself with a face?
No.
Okay.
I'm just too freaked out. I'm not even moving. I'm just like.
And I can
staring
see
at
them now that I'm. Okay.
It's a little bit vulnerable too, but you would know. You don't see yourself in a reflection or anything, but they see you. Sorry, I don't know if you were gonna say something. I didn't mean to cut you off.
But if so, our dream bodies look like the best or worst parts of us. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Whatever you.
What does our me physically seeing myself? What does myself look like then?
Regular, like the seated physical version of you is yourself.
Okay.
Your seated physical version of each of you look just as you did before you went in the dream. Your dream versions are your nightmares or your dreams of who you think you are.
And this happens when we exited the dream.
Actually, you haven't seen yourselves throughout that dream. There was no reflection for you to see
Sure.
yourself. But you're asking, so I'm describing for the rest of you to understand. So that whenever you're looking at, I'm explaining it in this way so that you understand that each other might look different than what they look like sitting in their chairs. If that makes
You
sense.
in your head.
Yes.
Oh, I'm buff. I'm very buff.
I know that sounds complicated. I'm
I
probably
think
explaining this
that
more.
probably should have been explained last episode.
I had more time to think about it. I had 2 weeks to think about this.
By the way, it's been 2 weeks.
Yep.
It's been a
2
while.
weeks.
Been a minute.
Well,
2 weeks.
we might be rusty.
Oh, he's dusty.
No, that was a total recall.
So
reference.
I know that might be something to think about.
Original.
Whether
not
your character
remake.
might hold themselves in higher esteem or less than.
Oh. Well, that would have changed a little bit of stuff last episode, but neither here nor there.
I'll just say real quick, since Kai's in his physical body, he's going to get up and go to the door that we came in, but I'm not leaving. I'm just kind of distancing myself from this scenario.
Okay.
And I want to ask him, like, so you said it's not good for them to be separated, but what happens if you are separated?
I don't know. I know people who have astral projected, and then right as he's beginning to explain this, Equinix, he stands up and he says, "What was your question again?" This is me, Prowant, Tyler, trying to figure it out.
If I don't attach to that physical form that I see, what is the repercussions?
Okay.
Like, what is?
So Equinix, he's gonna try and cut Sirocco off and say, "Hello. I don't think it would be a good idea. I don't know of anyone who's ever done something like this, and more so than that, there are magics that can allow you to separate your mind from your body to do tasks, and being outside of your body for too long might make your body grow weak, fatigued. I imagine, and you can kind of feel it now. You definitely feel exhausted.
I slide down and just
Yeah.
punch
And-
up against the wall.
He points over to him. I guess I've never met him, but I don't think he's normally like that.
He's had a bit of a day.
I know. I was there. Thank you, all of you. And he looks over at the 5 people from the stream, 4 including Kudzu, and they're in this. They haven't said anything this whole time, but they're in this state of shock and not understanding. They're looking around this room, and anyways, Equinix continues. Thank you. I would suggest you quickly return to your bodies, though. I don't know if there is any permanent damage being in my dream could have on you.
Okay, so then I'm gonna go, I guess, sit on my lap.
And as you do,
Kinky.
That's fine.
as you do, your body your mind slides back into your body, and you feel it. You feel heavier than you've ever felt in your life. More exhausted, fatigued. Probably similar to how you feel right now after working 32 hours straight. The three of you are still standing outside your bodies. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Just want to like examine myself, like look at myself, because you never get to see yourself. You know?
Have an out-of-body experience.
Yeah, you never get to look at yourself. You always see reflections and stuff, so it's kind of weird. So she'll just look at her sleeping self for a moment, just kind of like. She has this like moment of like, and she looks almost remissed, like kind of held back. And she just puts her hand on her shoulder.
Very, very quick question. Before we delve deeper, Equinix, is he human? Is he?
He appears to be a pale-skinned human. As he stood up, he is pretty much on height with Sirocco. They're probably around 5'11", 6 foot.
So they're both pale-skinned, human-esque looking. essentially?
He is just pale white, where Sirocco has like this tint of light blue and like tattoos that swirl around his arm and like light grays to dark grays. Whereas they're kind of contrasting each other color schemes. One seems to be way lighter and the other one seems to be way darker. And Equinix, he's got like a very strong, prominent jaw, and he seems to be like, he's got his hand like kind of trying to keep himself balanced on this stone slab. But as Gentiana reaches down, you slide into your body, your mind awakens your body, you become one. The two mana spawn. What would you like to do?
The best for last.
Nothing. I'm guessing nothing on happened besides them getting really tired from cooking.
Yeah, they're exhausted. You can visibly see it.
I go and grab my hand.
You grab your hand.
Mm-hmm.
you grab your hand, and the two of you
Bill,
collide
that's
into
dope.
one, and you awaken in the chair,
I'm so sorry.
exhausted.
I guess like just kind of like back up a little bit because I've been doing this while like everybody was kind of like talking. I want to pull out my sketchbook,
I knew it.
and in this form, I'm not going to reach to
A
my
self-portrait.
That's
Like
exactly
as
what.
I
That's
dig it.
exactly
out
what I'm
of
doing.
body self-portrait.
So it would have been like as he's going over to touch his
Slap
himself.
Yeah.
I want to draw the stone slab, us around him, and then everyone just kind of like looking dazed and confused, just from my perspective, and then him's just getting ready to smack the shit out of himself. So that's what I want to draw that.
Okay. Make
That's
it,
exactly
You
what
have
Kai's
something
face
to-
was.
make a performance
Remember.
check.
10?
I mean,
I'm freaked out. It's understandable. I'm like,
so it's taken you a few minutes to get started, and you still have a few more minutes to go while some of the conversation continues. You feel like you're doing a proper job but some details
feel
about
like you're doing a
yourself.
proper job.
Some details about yourself, like you're more critical about. That's how any artist is. Equinix, he hobbles a little bit. Sirocco throws an arm around him. All right, buddy. What are you trying to do? Equinix says, I need to talk to them. And you can see his eyes are like very exhausted too. And Tub and Lulu, they have this whole time been holding hands, and they haven't stopped holding hands. Whereas Kudzu and Kumi have kind of just been together, and the Elven Paladin has been taking this all in, being analytical of it all. Equinix approaches. I know that you must not understand what's going on. I don't have all the answers, but I just wanted to ask you, he says to them, what do you remember?
no, I
What
didn't
do we
go back
remember?
into my body. I'm still out of it. So I didn't say I would make it, but I don't know if you would.
You're still out of your body, and he's actually
He's
specifically
talking
talking
to
to
them.
the dream.
To-
To the
paladin,
three.
the-
Okay. I thought you were talking
And
about.
kudzu.
So I'm just still drawing.
Equinix is visibly not making contact with the paladin, and as he's talking, he says, "What do you remember?" And Lulu says, "Gee, it feels like it's a long story. All I remember was waking up, and these were the first faces I saw besides Tub." And Tub says, "Gee, that's a good question. Well, what came before you guys? I don't remember." Kumi doesn't speak up. The elven paladin seems to be trying to think.
This is all well and good, and I lift my head up from my, Soroku, about that 20 plot.
There's more heads here, and actually the number we decided on was 100 platinum to be split amongst you, but there are more people here than. Don't even worry about it. Here, look, and he Ribbon, who's been in the room the whole time, he looks over. Will you go 150? Will you go grab that? And Ribbon says, "Yeah, sure." And he seems to be a little shaken. He kind of the whole time has been looking at how close this beak was to nailing him when it slid into the room, and he like backs up from it and he walks out. "I'll just be a second," Ribbon says. Equinix turns to you. Actually, I don't even think that's enough. I have an appointment with Starla. Have you ever heard of the Celestial Trove? Not many people get to go there. It's in the first district. It's the wealthier side of town. And not that none of you, I can imagine, would not go there, but if you haven't been, it's on me. The appointment, go. I tell her Equinix sent you. I was supposed to meet with her today if everything went well, but I think I'm gonna need a while to recover, and I need to attend to my friends. So
What'd you say her name was?
Starla.
Oh, that's right. I should remember that. I work with a girl named Starla.
So it's one of the tallest towers in the first district. You shouldn't have any trouble. Just tell her I sent y'all. By the way, I don't think Equinix says, I don't think I know any of you. What are your names?
Betty Bob Thor.
Nice to meet you, Beatrice. Thank you.
Babble.
I'm still in the back of the room.
Babel. He looks over at the beautiful one with a halo.
Oh, my name.
Gentiana's she's kind of like pulled her overcoat a little bit tighter around herself, and she's just like sitting there, like, elbows on her knees. She just looks up. Gentiana. And her mood is definitely affected by something.
I guess again, while that was going on, after I was done drawing, I want to walk over to that peak real quick while I'm still in my little form of a jiggy.
Okay.
And does it, like, if I touch it, does anything happen? Like, does it feel like a physical object that is actually here and not like I see my real self, and then I know, and I see them like morph in, and I'm like, so I'm not really physically here, but does it feel like it would be physically here?
So Equinix, he looks over at you as you approach the beak. You put your hand on it.
Yes.
It's firm. It's warm.
Now your mind's in the beak. You can't move.
But
He's a walking mouse.
nothing
I'm
beyond
Pac-Man.
you touching a dream beak. And Equinix waits for a moment before he says anything. He looks back at you as if like trying to. He asks what y'all's names were. If you don't feel like offering one, It's okay.
Like I'm struggling to stand up, and I make my way over to him. This celestial troll is where the money's at, yeah?
No, Ribbon should be back any minute. Sirocco says. He pops up. Ribbon should be back any second with your money, but the Celestial Trove is an appointment. She sells enchanted items, magical items, and it might be a good place for y'all to stock up. Is what Sirocco says.
As he says
I don't know if that's something you're interested in, but
my leg gives out and I fall down. Seriously.
okay.
Yeah.
As I'm like poking and prodding, like the beak and touching and examining, I just say, I'm Sarah. Have you seen anything like this before?
This is the first. We've done many things in this tavern, and this is the first time I've ever done something like this and seen something like this. Are you asking Equinix or Sirocco?
Kind of general, like just I don't know specifically who's talking because I'm just focused on this, so I'm kind of like asking. So I guess both of them in a sense.
Equinix, he looks over there, kind of gives it a, grabs a part of his cloak and fidgets with it for a little bit. Then he looks away. Yeah, I dealt with one of these before, a long time ago.
Is it a real creature, or just?
These exist, and I had the unfortunate. Trying to think of the word. Sorry, it's been a long week. On an occasion, I came face to face with it, and it was one of the toughest fights I ever had. I'm sorry y'all had to go through it.
Not no sort. We didn't have a single problem at all. We kicked his ass.
I can't really get off the floor. Can I get some assistance? And I try to get up,
Sirocco-
and I can't move my leg.
Okay.
At this point, I'll go over to my body and just stare at it for like a couple
Sirocco's
seconds.
gonna go over
Touch it.
to you. Alright, in a flash, you collide with your body. You wake up exhausted. Sirocco's gonna go over to you, and he's gonna try and help you back up onto your feet. And by that time, Ribbon comes in and he's got the sack of gold. He puts it on the whetstone table.
Platinum pieces.
Platinum. 150 platinum. And Ribbon begins to like count it all out. And he just puts it out there. And Ribbon, he comes over and you're kind of banged up. And Circus says, yeah, they are. On me, whole month stay here at the tavern. Come and go as you please. If there's anything I can do for you, I mean, I don't know if you consider me a friend yet, but I am already well on my way to consider you guys one. So thank you for what you've done.
You want to be my friend? Sit me down on the chair.
He sits you down in the chair.
And I flip open my sash, pull out my tinker's tools, push the little panel on my leg, and I need to do a tinker check to make sure I can fucking walk.
Okay. So, as you heard him describe.
He's a robot.
I am not a robot. I am not a robot.
As you heard him describe.
By any means. T-1000.
Last session, if you remember, there was a situation where something hit you in the leg, right? It was a bite from a spider. So the opposite leg is the one that he whips out, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I got bit on my left leg. It's my right leg that is not working.
Okay.
Is it the same spot on your right side where
It was glowing? Yes.
Sirocco comes over to you and he says, I don't think, wow, this city has a lot here for you. And I think you're going to be okay. And as he says this, his words kind of ring out to you and you feel like you can definitely do this.
Okay.
You feel bardic inspiration come over you.
Ooh.
Hey, there's
Can
just
somebody
bards
hand
flowing
me a
everywhere.
player's handbook?
Right here.
Right here.
No, right here.
I need
No, right here.
Okay, I need to figure out what level 20 bardic inspiration feels like.
Level 20.
Jesus H. Christ. I don't know, the Messiah coming down and kissing me upon my forehead?
Roll
Is there a Messiah?
I think it's still a D6.
17.
17 D6.
Said the level 3 bard over
Super
there.
advantage.
You roll 3 d20s and add all of them together.
Reroll anything but a 20.
At a d8, 5th, 10th, 12th. Okay, so roll a d12 on top of your d20 roll.
Okay, cool.
Jesus.
And
Or you could save that.
He's gonna
we're officially level 3 though now, right? Or is that a process?
It's a process.
Okay, cool. I needed to know for stat wise. So I was adding what?
A
A
d12.
D12.
D, what's your moves?
That would be 22 total.
Okay. How would you describe yourself tinkering with your weapon?
So for anybody watching, from here
Probably
to
not.
just above the hip line, I have.
Actually, yes,
right
I
above
am.
the knee and the hip line.
It's all pistons, gears, bits of
Steampunky.
metal. I love steampunk. It's just sometimes it's overdone a little bit, but yes, it is essentially like. Fuck it, it's more cyberpunk than steampunk, damn it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm sitting there reattaching wires. I've got my tinker kit and I've got my tools, and I started doing this as he was speaking to me, of course. And then I stand up. I just put the panel back on.
You seem to be able to walk around and it functions fine, like just normal.
Yeah, which I look around. Is everyone staring at me or what?
I think
100%.
I think it's safe to say, especially the people from the Dream, have never seen something like that. Equinix and Sirocco seem a little less like startled by it, but definitely it caused them to look as well. But I don't know about the rest of the characters.
Which Kai just. Sirocco, can I have my money?
Yeah. Take it, and it's right there on the
Which
table.
I grab my share and I immediately walk out the door and I'm heading to the tavern.
Okay.
Or to the bar.
Yep.
Pissed off. All high hell.
What would the rest of you like to do?
I'd like to pull out my sketchbook. Is the sketch that I just drew in the Dream Spooky Scary Skeleton form in the sketchbook?
You open the sketchbook, and as you do, there's a page that shines a little differently. It does exist.
They do exist.
Did anyone else get something from the Dream?
I got a glove.
She got the glove, I got Dream Sand and the paladin.
Do you take
And
it
a
out?
paladin.
Do you want to take it out, or
Yeah.
would that be something that you're interested in double checking? It came back from the Dream with you.
Mhm.
Okay, it's in your bag. You pull it out, and it's a gloves, fingerless. It's got like a kind of like a monstrous middle finger hand, and Equinix and Sirocco both are interested in that. Equinix, I recognize that.
Well,
It's a long story, but I can tell you what it does. And
Not if I tell first, I guess identify.
do you cast Identify?
No, I don't have spells. I'll say
Okay.
don't immediately cast it.
I was about to say, you're about tapped now.
Yeah, I'm tapped.
That is a glove of Godland diplomacy.
Of what?
Godland diplomacy.
Goblin diplomacy. Nice.
It doesn't
No
have a command
pictures.
word, it just has a command gesture. Can you guess what it is? Yeah. This offensive glove will rudely gesture to a target. It will cast Compel Duel upon them, DC 15.
Compel.
But what Equinix tells you is whenever you use the command gesture, they'll feel like they want to fight you. So just be prepared. It usually works out good if you want people to focus on you and not other people. So
It's probably best that you got that tank.
She needs that the most.
Well, does she know what the gesture is, or will it be like that scene from
do
Spider-Man?
you understand the gesture that's on there?
Oh, there it is. Beatrix.
Does Beatrix understand the gesture?
yeah, she understands it, but just like everything else, it takes her a minute to.
Process.
She's slow. I'm dead.
So am I.
I'm dead.
From what I
My
said.
hips.
From what I said earlier.
While they're doing this, well, no, I'm sorry. Never mind.
So you had walked out the room and
So how do we all like do we have like exhaustion or are we just
you all do have
I put my glove back.
2 levels of exhaustion to be precise.
Hell yes. That's what the fuck I'm talking about.
Super
Disadvantage on all ability checks.
Like
I'm
I
glad I
said,
did that performance check while I was out of my body.
well,
It's a little bit too.
I don't know how you all are feeling, but you're welcome. We'll show you to your rooms and
When is this appointment?
the appointment is sorry, a second ago did I say today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I meant to say a week from now.
Fucking week
I'm
from now.
missing that shit. I'm missing you.
Right.
It's in a week, so if you'd like for me to accompany you or anything, please let me know. I'm probably gonna be staying around the tavern for a little bit. Soroko says, "Are you all ready for your rooms?" Oh, I forgot to ask. Is it okay if I keep the beak? Do you want it?
I want to do.
By all
I want to
means,
do, I guess, an investigation.
keep it.
What's that?
I want to do an investigation, like what it's, because he said that it was like the worst thing or one of the most difficult things that he's ever fought. That he like wouldn't seem like it hurt him to talk about it.
Yeah. So
With him
make
like coddling himself.
Make an insight check. That's what you're trying to determine about Equinix's relationship with the rope, essentially.
Yes.
And then when she's
Like
done, I
why
have
it
a
bothered
question.
you. 15.
First secret of Friends and Fireball. Fuck
Okay,
it!
so y'all keep talking amongst yourselves.
So yeah, thanks for all the love on YouTube right now, dudes.
Seriously,
Chicks.
like, we
Whatever.
were expecting a lot of like
Nothing.
negativity,
And
and there was that one guy, but we still appreciate you.
yeah,
too.
I mean,
'Cause we're not.
love is love, and
Yeah, I
hate
feel
is
like
hate,
it
but
wasn't
I mean,
negative.
but
So
it's,
It
It
wasn't
is-
negative enough.
Yes.
Could have been more negative on the
And-
next one.
And then I
mean,
just kind
but
of like
it's so awesome.
lay
Like,
my hand
what
on
we
his
do
shoulder.
this, and you
and
guys
I
do
just-
that. It's just
He doesn't.
way beyond what we thought it was going to be. Way beyond.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay.
You
Cool.
don't.
So
You don't have to disclose.
What? it was a hard fight. Equinix says.
I do have one strange question. And she kind of like looks at everybody. Is everybody just kind of like keeping to themselves, or are they like? Are we like in a huddle, just like talking to each other? Like, what's up?
I'm
I mean,
I
closer
kind
to
of
you.
imagine you guys are spread out. I'm out of there, but I
It's
would assume
it's,
you're kind of
it's
spread
not
out.
like a gigantic room, but it's a small enough of a room that when you don't have to move around too much to direct your attention to somebody or talk to them. Are you trying to pull somebody aside, or what are you trying to do?
I'm just trying not to be like the center of attention at the moment.
There's definitely, you can pull back a little bit if you'd like.
Strange question. It's been a while since I've eaten. Do you have any blood?
So,
She's not subtle. She doesn't give a shit, but she doesn't want to freak out everybody in the room and just get fucked up.
Soroka, are you saying this is Soroka?
Yeah. And then she'll just kind of just like, I don't know if you saw, but she'll just kind of smile.
werewolf.
Soroka blushes a little bit. I don't know of anyone here who. You're not gonna try and kill me, are you? 'Cause I would offer you some of mine.
If you have a fear that I'm going to kill you, she pulls out a tiny little vial. She goes, you can fill this up. I don't need a whole lot. I just need something.
Okay. Okay. And he takes the vial and
So awkward.
he hands it back to you, and that drink that he has dropped earlier, he he casts mending on his glass, and he puts mage hands it to his hand, and then on his double-bladed scimitar, he reaches down and cuts his wrist, and he bleeds it into this like really nice, ornate-looking glass.
I'm just gonna look over here.
He hands it over to you, and then he casts Cure Wounds on himself to seal the wound.
Whenever I see him go down to cut himself, I'll turn away because I want to attack this dude. And reach over the shoulder.
Is that
Show
enough?
it, show it.
We'll find out.
Knock it back. Just
Anything for friends.
Probably like smells like enticing and shit. Like
Absolutely. There's a very airy feel to the drink.
Jesus. I'm just kidding. She takes a sip just to see what it's gonna do.
Have you tasted elves before?
Let's find out.
Oh, he's an elf?
Have you tasted Genasi before? Because you're getting a blend.
Oh, shit.
Let's find out. I'm gonna do a history check for myself,
Okay.
and then I'll just see.
I actually, if you've lived a long time, I'm going to say that there's probably not a
Very long time.
there's probably not a chance that you haven't tasted an elf and a Genasi at some point within your own world.
Sure.
And those are definitely the vibes that you're getting from this drink. And on top of all of that, before you even put it to your lips, it seemed like to float, like not actually float, but like the taste and texture was very airy up and quite delicious.
you know, if you got a swish and spit.
Like a fine wine.
Indeed. It's a short of it.
She nods her head. Thank you. Short.
In the meantime, the 5 other people, like from the dream, are kind of visibly terrified, and especially the elven woman who reaches. You see her like reach for a weapon that isn't there, and she kind of like relaxes, and you can tell it's a bit of an instinct, but she relaxes a bit.
I'll look at all of them and.
So
Is
how
this something you-
close am I to it just occurred?
Uh-oh.
Smile wryly at them.
Like within 5 feet?
If you want to be, they don't.
I mean, I don't really.
Are you kind of salivating a bit
I'll-
as well?
I'll drink about half of it, and then see her like freaking out, and then just go, calm down, have the rest.
She's over there just like, come on,
So
man.
I don't have to do this vampire craving thing.
What's it say?
Because that's
It's
why
within
I was
5
like,
Oh!
That's why I
It
turned
causes-
around.
It causes me to actually have to attack somebody.
Yeah,
I
if
smell
within
them
5
bleeding.
feet.
That's why I was like,
Okay.
I'm in a
There's
predicament.
no DC check to this. It straight up is. This is the compulsion you have.
Yeah, that's what you
that's
roll.
what vampire craving is. So that's why
Make
he was
a-
like, you
make
cut
a-
your wrist. I was like, oh god.
Make an attack roll.
No, a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. Is
She has
how
to
it
make a
was wrote?
wisdom.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
wrote it that way.
Please. Then you would be compelled to do the same thing as soon
But
as
I
it hit
turned.
the air.
But I turned. No, it's if you
So
smell
you.
it.
Okay. See.
Oh, it's
I think it's sight.
It says when you see a creature bleeding within 5 feet of you.
When you
must
see,
make-
yeah. So that's why I turned away.
Ah.
Okay.
I thought
Because
you were
I
just
did it-
squeamish for
because
some
I
reason.
did
Now,
want
also
to
to
attack
clarify,
them.
if we're in combat, just so that this doesn't muddle anything up, because I think we missed all of that in combat with those creatures. But even though she did go and drink, I will say that you don't have to roll every time in combat, but out of combat, yes.
Sure. But
Unless
that's-
it makes sense later.
But
we'll figure it
I
out.
specifically wanted to turn away while he did that.
So
I
you resisted,
didn't
and
do
we're
that.
offering.
And I was
one.
offering
However,
it to her to.
yeah.
I just was watching what was going
Roll
on.
it.
and-
Roll it. We'll
What
see
does
what
it say?
happens.
And it's
Oh,
with
God.
advantage.
Oh, shit.
With advantage.
Wait, no. I'm
You have
proficient.
2
You just-
points
yeah,
of
you just-
exhaustion right
Yes.
now,
Yeah,
so
and your
it would
proficiency
be
bonus
with
to the roll.
Yeah.
it would be with disadvantage.
Oh yeah, do it with disadvantage.
Which,
Wait, is it just ability checks or?
So effects of exhaustion, disadvantage on ability checks. So this is a saving throw, though.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
So it was your first roll.
Okay,
no,
so
keep going.
No, that was it. It was
Oh, it was just the one?
Yeah, it's just one.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
ability
because of
checks.
this. I'm sorry. Yeah.
that's an 8 because I had 4.
You fail to resist the urge, and you lunge out at Sirocco.
Oh shit.
Roll to attack.
Fuck.
That's what I was saying.
We're making
I
friends
had
now.
no
She
choice.
would roll with disadvantage because of being 2 points of exhaustion, right?
Ability checks and speed is halved. No, at
okay.
level 3 exhaustion.
That's when shit gets.
Yeah.
Crit?
No.
Well, it's a
nat
critical
one.
failure.
Oh.
So
So I failed to attack him.
As you
That's good.
As you lunge across the room, your speed is halved, and you're not moving as quickly as you normally do. You feel way heavier, and you reach out to bite at him, and by the time you get over to where he's at, he's no longer in front of you. He's standing on thin air, looking down. Would you like some blood too?
And that's when I'll offer it to her.
I'm sorry. Thank you for everything.
Drink this quickly.
Let's just say Kai's really glad he didn't see any of that.
Okay. You
How's
definitely can tell it has the same description I gave to you, is the same way the blood tastes.
Since she just lunged at him, what's everybody else doing now?
Equinix immediately reached for his katana, but he let it go. Once he saw that Sirocco was very playful about it. And at this point, Equinix is... He looks at his hands, something's off. He looks up at Sirocco. I don't know, I need to figure this out. And he walks out of the room.
I follow.
Okay.
dun dun dun.
Do you do it stealthily, or are you like straight up? Like,
Straight up.
Okay. So Equinix, he beelines out of the room, opens the door, walks out. It's a tavern hallway, and you follow him, and he looks over at you. Yeah. Hey, Babel, right?
Yes.
Can I help you?
You know, the girl back there. The one we didn't know about. She's not dead now, if the rock killed her before.
Hey, wait up.
You're very perceptive. It's been years, and I've dealt with those feelings, and I don't know how to feel now. So that's something I'll figure out in time. But thanks.
But they don't have the money to go back into it.
Did I miss something?
I feel like I missed a great opportunity.
You guys weren't in the hallway? Shut the fuck up.
Saren is smart, Steven dumb. Steven can't think of a question to ask until it's too late.
I'm dumb. I'm dumb.
That's not why I left the room then, right? And he waves his hand out in front of him, and a small, like, these little dark black purple orbs. You can feel like it's got a slight hump to it as he does it, and it kind of fades out. You can tell it wasn't his intent.
This city's just weird. I've been here a week, couldn't understand anybody at all. All the words are wrong for a week, and that should not happen at all.
Where are you from?
Not from here, from farther off.
Like, how further off?
I don't really know distance-wise. There was a sort of door involved, so.
There's a lot of doors in this city.
Oh, yeah.
Are Are you trying? What are you trying to do in this city?
Oh, well, I'm looking for something. I hear that's what you come here for.
I did.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope you find it. He tries to walk away from you.
Mm-hmm. I head back towards the room.
He nods. Walks down the hallway. You go back in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do I see him?
you would have turned left out the hallway because you're headed to the bar. You might be a little confused for a sec. Do you remember the way you came? We'll get to you.
You're boned.
You're lost.
You just walked into a flaming pit of hell.
Opens a door. What is it? Oh,
Why can't we have real fake doors up in this bitch?
So back in the room, you walk back in, and Sirocco says, "Well, we'll get each of you to your rooms. Is that okay? Is there anything else you need? Are you good on blood? I think I have some more." And he walks back down from the thin air that he was standing on. There's a like, as he does it, there is a breeze that kind of fills the room as he lands back on the ground.
And then I like kind of go over to him, kind of like away from everybody else, whispering in his ear, "Do you understand me, my kind?"
Do I understand your kind? Like what you are saying to me, or something beyond that?
Who I am.
Who are you?
Wow. This is a great conversation.
My name
Love it.
This is kind of how Sirocco would act. He's
love it.
very kind of playful with you a little bit. I don't know if you're trying to be serious.
It's just a
Just thanks for the blood.
It's no problem. There are others kind of like you here, but there's something different about the two of you, if that's what you're asking.
And she just like walks off in confusion.
Sorry. Okay, well, Ribbon and Sirocco are going to open the door and start leading you each to your rooms, unless there's anything else.
Go to my ready to rest something.
Yes.
Whatever.
I'll lean over to Ribbon as he's like walking us down, like, do me a favor, if you would, please. Find our mechanical friend and make sure he's okay.
Right, so we actually got you like an apartment type suite in this tavern, so
You mean I have to stay in the same place with everyone?
you'd be just a couple doors down. Unless you want to be on a different floor.
That's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, don't forget your platinum. He reaches onto the table and shells all your
I
platinum.
already wrote it down. I took mine. Just
Okay.
Well, what was the divvy? Because it was 150.
30
150.
apiece.
30.
It's 30 apiece. There's 5 of them.
So I did not write it down.
So level 3 with 300 gold is what it kind of shakes out to, right? Plus whatever you had from the previous encounter.
Now I have.
Oh,
50
yeah.
dollars, 300 gold.
18 each. So, yeah. So we got like 320 each-ish. Give or take.
So the next...
Before we go to the back, I'm write
How much is
letters
one
back.
platinum in gold?
Okay.
How much is gold is one platinum?
10.
It's 300.
As you and we'll get to that piece. It takes you a minute, Kai, but you eventually find the bar. Now, unless anyone has a problem with it, a week goes by and you finally make a full recovery. Your mental state, your body. You spend some time in the tavern. You actually walk out of the tavern for a moment just to make sure it's real, but you're still not fully recovered. Each of you might choose to go back in or explore the town. But either way, you have a week of downtime that I would like to ask you, what would your character probably do in a week of recovery, or maybe a week of like maintenance, or a week of gathering things for themselves? What would you do? We're gonna go around the table, starting. It sounds like you're ready to start.
Well, I was gonna do something before a week. So.
Okay. No, we can.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Okay. Then yeah,
I'm letting you know that's my intention
I
for
got
part
you.
of the
Okay,
session.
Cool. So yeah, I don't have to go first. I'll do it. But I
It
was.
sounds
I
like you
was
had
clear.
something ready.
Well, yeah, I do. But I was also making. There was a clarification. Like,
Okay.
all right, fuck it, I'm going. Everybody, shut up.
I'm so confused.
So,
But I want to.
after I left,
You always go.
I'm walking fine, but I'm still exhausted, so I'm kind of, still holding up against the walls and shit. I want to go down to the bar and see the bartender, the big guy, if he's
Okay.
there.
As you go down to the bar, there seems to be a much lighter of a scene here. There's people still there. There's still quite a few people about, but now it seems like it's turned more to a pub cafe setting where there's a lot less fancy lights and music, and there's people playing more chill, low down music, definitely a more like talkative atmosphere. And you kind of, as the rest of you can hear this as you approach your room, and if you take a moment to see what's going on, you can see this as well. But you were the first one to enter the bar, so Zench, sorry, the bartender grabs a glass and he starts, as you approach, he puts it down and, wow, you look like shit.
And I reach it in one of the little pockets, and I just throw one of the platinum pieces on the table, or on the bar. How much rum can that right there get me?
Probably the whole top shelf.
Jesus Christ.
I'll take 3 bottles right now.
Okay.
And consider that my top.
Thank you. He takes the
Tab,
three
not tip, Tyler.
Are you opening the tab, not giving his money away? He is Kai.
Well, he still takes the coins.
Of course, just
What
clarify.
did you think I was gonna do?
You said thank you, and I was like, I was using the accent. Maybe he heard tip, not tab. And I was like, Kai ain't giving shit away.
So, all right, thank you. And he slides the money across the counter. He brings the first 3 bottles down, sets them in front. That whole
one
shelf, you want me to just put your name on it? All right. What's your name?
there. Kai.
My name's Zench. Nice to meet you. And he puts out this very large hand, like the size
Which
of your
I
head.
struggle to, because
Yeah,
I'm fucking
it's
exhausted.
kind of
but
cute.
Just kind of, I kind of like.
And he writes your name down, and he puts your name on the shelf, and he puts a nail up as like,
Fuck yeah.
your name is now on the bar.
Nice.
It's your shelf. Yeah. Hey man, what happened? You all right?
Oh, that's a story for another time. Can you tell me where the fucking rooms are?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think I haven't talked to Soroka, but I think he was planning on putting you up on one of the upper floors. So you just
So yeah, as I walk up, I assume we'll probably bump into each other, kind of a thing.
you and the other characters.
Yeah, these guys. Because I literally went down to get the thing and come back. So
Yeah, it would actually probably be around the same time as y'all spent a moment talking. You spent a
Attack.
moment
yeah,
talking.
so I turn the corner, I see you guys have got
Drinking
3 bottles of whiskey or rum in my hands, and I just look. We all head into our rooms. And I walk past everybody except Soroku and wait for him to lead me to my room.
Ribbon leading us to our rooms.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But there's one more thing I'm going to do in the room before the week starts, just to clarify.
Okay.
Again,
Um,
I'm clarifying a lot.
Clarifications.
So you're led up the staircase, sort of, but Ribbon, like, as y'all get there, he kind of realizes this might be a bit of a journey. Ah, fuck it. And he opens up a portal.
Nice.
Alright, I know y'all are tired. You don't want to go up these stairs, because he's like, we're on, like, the 10th floor, so...
Thank God for the portal.
Right, so you're on the
Elevators
10th
do exist.
floor. Just go in here if you don't want to walk up the stairs.
I immediately walk in the portal and like just kind of clap him on the back as I walk through.
So you each...
Gotta walk through the portal backwards.
You just get on the other side.
Just kidding.
Oh.
So you each go into the portal and you enter a suite, and it has a large, like, common area with all the amenities. There's even like a mini fountain in there. There's a series of
Fucking fancy.
rooms. Yeah, it's certainly a lavish, luxurious suite. If not on par with Soroko's, even better.
Well, if it doesn't have an infinity pool, I'm not staying in it.
Does it have a hot tub?
So,
Hot tub.
take whichever rooms you want. There.
Kai goes to the nearest door, opens it, and if it's a bedroom, slams it shut.
It's a closet. I guess this is mine.
Oh, this room has a fancy waterfall.
But yeah, I walk into my room and I slam it shut.
Well,
don't
good
give a
night
fuck
to
what anybody
you
else is
too.
doing. I pop off the first one and I just down it. And I'm going to go on a drunken, crazed. I'm going to pull out my calligraphy pen and I'm going to. Basically, Kai is very pissed at himself that he fucked up as much as he did. So he's basically going to go, the number 23 on his own in his room and just start scribbling shit, alchemy stuff, navigation shit. I am basically trying to force my mind to remember things.
You take all the decor off the walls, you throw it into a corner so that you have enough room
Yeah,
to
like
chalk
shit.
out
It's,
ideas. Yeah, absolutely.
it's like Guns N' Roses' hotel room. It's just trashed.
Okay. The rest of you, how do you prepare for your night?
Seeing him, I was just okay. Then just
Yeah, you're hearing the shit. I'm like, fuck!
Do you think he's okay in there?
I wouldn't go in there and find out.
Yeah, no.
I'm just gonna go sit in the common area, like on a couch or something.
Okay.
And just pull out my sketchbook.
It's the
And I'm
most
looking-
comfortable couch you ever sat on.
And I want to concentrate on that page that you said is glowing, and like really concentrate on trying to figure out if I can figure out why. I guess I'll start with ritual casting and identify on it.
Okay.
To see if there's something weird about it, about that page in particular. So over 10 minutes, and while they do whatever they want to do.
You do, and you see that blended in with these sketches, and the sketches you did in the dream are in your sketchbook. And
Yeah, because I did.
how many sketches did you do in the dream?
There was the one of whenever we first entered, I sketched out basically what we saw. So the giant tree in the background, and no, I didn't get the bird. It was before that. So I got like just the landscape and the giant tree in the middle.
So as you
and then
do this,
of us in that room, and that's it.
as you
No,
do this,
he did one of me as well. The ink left the page, but he did one. You gave me bardic inspiration.
Yeah, but that was.
That was your inspiration. So
Yeah, that's the inspiration. So that one didn't stay.
Okay.
That was specifically just for that.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure.
as you do this, you notice that page, like on the front, is your image that you drew. But when you look at the back, and as you cast Identify through your eyes, what you didn't notice before, but somehow the ink and the smearing, how much pressure you put on the front, has left an imprint on the back. And there's a feather, and you know that you can rip this page out and cast Featherfall.
Nice.
Fine, sick.
What?
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm not ripping that page out yet.
Okay.
Is it like a, or I guess, would I be able to tell if it's like a one-time thing, or is it? So is it the
You feel like it would
page?
be you feel like it would be a one time.
Okay, so it's not like there's an incantation on the page. It's just like the page has been enchanted with something.
Somehow,
With that magic.
somehow between you casting spells and you being in the dream, something has affected your book.
Okay. I'll just kind of, I guess, take all that in and just sit there and stare, but focus more on where, like I drew us all in that circle, but just focus on myself.
Okay. The rest of you.
I'm just gonna wave night to him. Night guys, and I'm gonna head up to my room. Does my room have like an outside? Like I'm assuming it's nighttime right now, like dark outside.
You
Or no?
you go into your room and you don't see any windows, but there's a lot of things that make this place still feel roomy and not like a dungeon at all. It's
No
very
pun intended.
yeah, but there doesn't seem to be any outside facing windows, but there are very distinct paintings of other worlds in each of your rooms. But no real outside area.
I guess if there's like a loft esque couch, not just a bed. Like, is it? I don't know how big the room is. Like, you know how in like some places you go, they have like a, what do they call it? I don't know. Like
Terrace?
like
Okay.
a small no. He said there's no
Like
outside.
a second floor, like a mezzanine, like a second part. Is that what you're talking about? Like you're wondering if it has something like that in your room?
Like a loft?
I'll just a comfy place to sit. She's just on the
I'm
arm
on a
that
couch.
she has her. Yeah, I was just like.
Oh, she doesn't want to sit next to the faceless dude. I see you.
During this time, like ever since she went through the portal, and not necessarily through the dream, but she just has that like a burning sensation, like where her glow of her tattoo is on her shoulder, which she saw, but she's just holding it and just thinking. She's just kind of in a state of confusion, but eventually, like she goes to rest.
All right. That happens, and it doesn't take you long. You are out whenever you want to be asleep, if not sooner. Babel, Indiana.
You go first.
Okay. I'll see that she's split. He's drawing. He's fucking
80s rock and roll raging his room away.
Doing fuck all.
and kind of like, is Ribbon still here?
Ribbon has left you to your devices.
So he's gone.
Would you have stopped him before?
No.
Okay.
I was just wondering if he was
He's
gone.
gone.
Okay. Seeing everybody just splitting off into their own. Say my bid adieu to the two mana spawn, and I'll find an empty room that's left. And there's a lot of things going on with, in her mind, I guess it'd be my mind technically, since I'm the player or the person. She feels a little bit more vulnerable than she used to, especially after seeing herself. So she's, is there like a mirror or anything in the room?
There would be a vanity in your room that you entered.
She wants to, she examines herself, and she'll remove her mask and like push her hair out of her face and just kind of like focus on herself and like look over her appearance in the mirror, and she begins to rub a spot on her chest. And as she's like looking on it, she's just like rubbing a spot right here on her chest. And she begins to think about like her past and different things that's going on with her, and she begins to just like speak almost to nobody, not even to herself, but to her patron. I guess that would be who it is. She's very confused of the things that are going on, and she's seeing different things and experiencing things that she didn't think she'd ever experience. So it's like mindless nonsense that she's speaking, but she gets to a point where as she's like still talking to him, she gets mad at herself as she's looking at herself, and she'll punch the mirror. She wants to break it. And then she just goes and lays down.
So, as you go into this rant and you're talking to the mirror, when you go to throw your fist through it, your hand vibrates and blurs, goes through the mirror, and as you pull it back, the mirror stays intact, and then it shatters a moment later. Which is something new to you, but I don't know if you probably still go lay down after a moment.
She'll go lay down.
You get the sense that you're getting faster. Babel.
I walk over to Zarin on the couch. Do you have a preference for the rooms?
No.
Okay, then I'll just back in the room. When Beatrice lunged at that was weird, right?
What? I thought we were all looking at the beak. That seemed weird to me.
No, I mean, at one point, Tatiana, she got some blood, and then Beatrice sort of lunged at them, and all that. That was just weird in general, right?
Blank stare from faceless face.
From faceless face to faceless face.
Yes. Having a hard time reading your expression right now.
In the mirror.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's a single one of us that are not weird.
Fuck you, I'm not weird.
Dude, just kidding.
See face through a mirror.
You are weird.
That's me yelling. Whoa. I'd hate to see when you're real mad.
You're weird. So just go Batman.
Just like chickens do that, and
Do you say chickens do that?
Yes.
I was kind of like tilt my head.
Like a chicken?
And ironically,
That too.
what's a chicken?
You remember that horrible bird that tried to kill us before?
That's a chicken?
It's like that, but smaller. But just as awful.
So, the smaller one was a chicken?
I don't think they get that big, but maybe.
I love this. Like the monospawn's fucking conversations. Oh my god, it's so great.
Oh my god.
Alright, easier question.
Debatable. Go on.
It was you though, in the bar that made the drinks taste bad, right? And that's prestidigitation, right?
Alright, real quick question. I guess for you as well, because you're also a DM, do casters know the name of the spells? Like, what
Yes.
I know?
100%.
Yes.
Now, there also might be slang or nicknames depending on your world or your
Yeah, sure.
dialect. But
You
yes.
can call it whatever you want, but yeah, it is. You know
Well, I
what
like to call it smelly,
There
seedy,
you go.
tasty, funny.
Smelly sea tasty.
If your wizard would know, but maybe not the other things. But yeah, that was you, right?
My mentor taught me it's a fun joke we like to play on each other from time to time.
But it can do other things too, right? Like not just make it taste bad. It can change the smell too, right? And like a color, I think. Right?
I've heard of it being able to do more than one thing, yes.
Like can you do it like that?
I think so.
Okay. Because chickens is like the color of the blood.
Chickens?
So, I mean, we didn't do too great back in the dream. So I mean, there might be a chance of like, well, not for us, but for the other three, blood showing up again. So if you change the color of it, then they couldn't tell it was blood, or they made it smell like it wasn't blood. Then it might work and.
Big brain of the group, guys.
Yeah, it was.
It's 200 IQ over here.
Oh shit.
Meanwhile, 1 IQ is like, what's a fucking chicken?
Well,
Would you a really mean bird? So you think you could do that?
I could try.
Okay. Just something in case it comes up again. So, I mean, it might not have anything to do with like chicken stuff at all.
You see me like go to like the very, like towards the front of my sketchbook and I flip it through. And there's like a list of words on there. And towards the bottom I just add chicken.
Dude, do you have
But
a?
it's spelled like CHIKEN.
There's
And you know,
another C.
and there's like a whole bunch of, you notice like a bunch of like common words and they're all spelled like they sound. Another C.
Captain America.
So I put
Winter
another
Soldier.
C in front of the other C.
And if you see,
Thank
if
you.
you're looking over into a sketchbook and you see a list of words, you see the correct pronunciation in your mind I'm guessing there might be some that are not.
Yeah, they're all spelled like they're spelled like they sound.
Okay.
You have a pronunciation guide.
Or pronunciation guide.
Sure, these are things I don't know what they are.
Which ones?
All of them?
Point one.
I think I should come up with this list. Hold on, give me a second.
It shouldn't be that hard. You
I
were
got-
locked in a tower for a long time.
For example,
I'll have to come up with this list now.
hourglass.
There you go.
Sure. Hourglass. Spelled with one S.
There's another S on the end. It tells time, an hour. Usually sand in it. Well, hourglass, noun.
What's an hour?
You count to one. Well, you count up to 60. And then you count up to 60 again. It doesn't matter.
Just check that one off, bud. Okay, now Steven's confused.
Time is a construct anyway.
No, we're not getting into that.
Oh,
That's a Friends and Fireballs extra.
Yeah, that's
good
behind the
thing.
scenes bonus content.
So,
Good thing Kentiana's not there because she would have went into it.
So there's like a lot of common, like, there's phrases and just kind of like weird words. And the first phrase that you see on there is killing two birds with one stone. And it's like little phrases like that. I don't know what you
Idioms.
call them. Idioms, yes, there's
Yeah.
idioms and
that
random
dog won't
words.
hunt. What
Yeah.
does that mean?
I don't know, but we live by idioms.
6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Add that to the list.
Why do you park on a driveway and drive on a parkway?
What's a drive? Oh God.
Don't cross the sidewalk if you can't get out of the kitchen.
What's a what? Okay, now Steven is confused.
Grass. No.
So, Babel.
You know what you need, though? You need a dictionary.
Please ask.
Dictionary.
No, because I've been to a library and I've studied books, so I feel like I know what a dictionary is.
That's what I did before. I worked on a dictionary. Translating. So, if you,
Oh, I guess.
if you have any more problems with words, just ask. And I have.
Thanks. Damn it. Chicken. What's a chicken?
It'd be like in gameplay, they say such. Yeah. Do you know what that means?
You just wrote
When I
yourself
get
in
to
for
the
a
room, I just
long
start my
time.
voice.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
I'm
Can't
guessing Zarin might spend the rest of the evening drawing some of the scenes that he saw that he didn't get the chance to.
I'm gonna draw the nest with the big air cocra and a little one.
Rogue.
Rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rope hang. And just draw them two, and then everyone like trying to leave out the portal, leave into the portal.
By the time you think you get close to it, you wake up on the couch. You decide it's probably time to go to bed. And
I sleep
Like,
on the
I
couch.
can start finish shooting.
I was gonna say that
I'll fall asleep.
no matter what task each of you were trying to complete that evening, if you were trying to complete one, you're just too tired. You get halfway through or just barely finished, and you wake up and realize you need to lay down if you do, or you might just fall asleep in the chair that you're writing in or drawing in or tinkering on or whatever you're doing. You're out. You sleep deep, dreamless, and in the morning, that's where we'll pick up after the break.
Heyo.
Heyo.
So, there it is.
It's right
So,
here.
if you would like to win the Descent into Avernus book that we are giving away, all you need to do is leave us a comment below and share our video. If you do those two things, then you'll be you will have a chance to win this. We'll pick randomly, so please share it with everybody. We're trying to, build a community around us. If we have to give you free shit to do that, I mean, I understand.
Hooray for buying likes.
Kyle will never give you free
Silent.
shit. But we
So we will, by the 5th video, we will announce the winner. So you'll have another shot probably on the 4th video if you haven't commented on this 3rd one.
So just to clarify for them, if the more that it's like our other episodes are shared, will that put their name like twice in there or no?
Nope, we're just gonna do it for episode 3. So, and then if you're watching this in the very far future, beyond when we've already given this away, I'm sorry, someone won. So
You
if
can
you,
still comment though.
yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
God.
We will
2
leave-
years ago.
Yeah,
And
please.
did time travel go back, screw everyone over? It was
There
fine.
you go. Do that too.
Did you watch the same show I watched?
Uh
And we're gonna go to break.
huh.
All right.
Is this the place where friends and fire? Yeah, fuck you. We're gonna come down there and kill you.
I mean, give you a free book.
Everybody stopped and then looked at me. Cool. I guess we're back, guys.
We are.
So we just came back from break, and what had happened in the game was everybody has
Killed them.
Die.
actually slept a lot longer than what you originally intended. Each of you, strangely, only sleeps a short amount of time to fully rest up.
You're goddamn right.
But
I'm dead. Dude.
this is the longest you've ever slept. When you wake up, you are definitely level 3.
Nice.
Kai,
Yes.
in your room, you hear something moving.
Oh, it's me.
What? I have, I guess the one thing I do remember from last night is that, the sheets for the bed's broken.
Of course.
Somewhere in the room. But, I took the sheets and linens and some of my rope and rigged silk shit, the good shit.
Yeah,
And,
that's what
rigged
that photo
a,
is.
hammock. Thank you. Hammock. So yeah, I sit up, open my eyes.
There's a little something you tinkered with last night before you went to bed that seems to be like moving around the floor, but it's like it stops.
His legs.
Needs a little bit more work.
His
Might-
legs stop working.
you think you might need some scrap or something to get it fully functional.
I'll be there shortly. I hop down. How do I actually feel compared to how we were feeling?
You feel like you've recovered, definitely a lot. You can still notice some parts of you are tender. You mentally still it's like a day after a very bad hangover.
Gotcha.
Still got it. Still some waves of fatigue every few minutes.
Gotcha. So I'm just gonna adjust myself. I hydrate with the cantrip. I'll have the thing moving around. I'll kind of. I just want to examine it for a split second. But before I do that, I want to make sure. I need to do a tinker check on Gladys. Make sure she's still functioning.
Okay.
Just not a fix it. Just a check on it.
All right. So that's going to be, what did we say before? Your intelligence
Intelligence.
plus your proficiency modifier.
Correct. That's 18.
Okay. As you spin it around your hand, you examine the weight, the functionality. There's some springs in the hammer, right? Let's name a whole bunch of different parts of a gun real quick. Show you a good
trigger
DM,
assembly,
super immersive game.
Trigger assembly. The handle.
The firing
barrel.
retaining pin is right where it needs to be. The
The assault magazine clip.
yeah.
Can I
A cylinder,
add
a
something
solenoid.
very minute
Yeah, please.
to that roll?
The sights.
Oh, wait.
Hit me
What do you mean?
Well, to the
Yeah, to the description of it.
basically what I've done is
Or-
I've taken one of the pythons, the little things we used to climb, put the rope through. They're like,
On a pistol.
you know what I'm showing you, right? Is it okay if I take that and some some cloth and stuff and make it like where the butt of the gun is a little more deadly.
More deadly?
Yeah, it's basically got like a little claw on it now, but it's okay.
That works for me.
Just in case I can't use the barrel, I can still use the gun, kind of a thing.
You definitely have a bit of scrap laying around that you can use it as a makeshift weapon if things get that hairy.
Okay. Yeah, it's more of a last resort type thing.
Okay.
But yeah.
Do you have a dagger on you?
Yes.
Okay. You might have to sacrifice it to kit bash it to it.
To this?
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth it then.
Okay. Well then.
My daggers are good as is. Trust me.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's good. Then, like you said, I noticed I needed scrap, so I'm just gonna kind of compose myself from last night and walk out the door to the commons.
Right. As you open the door, like there's a bunch of like debris from the room and things you've had on you. You kind of have to like pull the door open, and all kind of like it clears a little bit of a way. And as you walk
I stop
out
before I do that.
Okay.
I apologize, but Kai just remembered something.
Okay.
The writings on the walls. Is there anything that I remember, whether it be my skills,
So I'll tell you what is on the wall.
Okay.
As you're looking around at what you and your mad, like fervored scribblings on these walls of your genius, like sketches, concoctions, there's a little black box, and you have the words Stevie wrote above it, and then around it is like a disassembled ship. But there are parts of it that you know are wrong, or think are, but you don't really remember. It's hard to really get your head around it.
Gotcha.
Kind of like one of those, like, have you ever seen like a schematic picture, like with someone like, kind of imagine like Tony Stark, like he does
blueprint?
that. Yeah.
Can I make it either like a perception or an intelligence check to see if anything sticks out for me that would benefit me on obtaining pieces that I may need?
Yeah.
For
Make a
what I'm doing.
a history check.
Okay. $15.
Well, for what you're doing, if you're focusing on, are you focusing on your vessel, or are you focusing on
My project. But
Okay.
pieces of it maybe, or things that I see in my old ship Stevie.
You remember that you would crash in what you think is a part of the city that was hold on, I got this. It's in my notes.
You named the boat Stevie.
I did.
That's a door. That's with an IE.
No.
By
Oh.
the time that
As
you
in
had
mix. As in mix.
No.
Sales for jet flag.
when you had come to in this city and around in the wreckage of your ship, you had to get out of there quick. You do remember this. There's parts of the event that's coming to you as you're looking at the schematics, and on top of that, there's this like kind of sense of like guilt, or maybe it's kind of like that sense that you messed up in a way. But when you're trying to remember parts and pieces that are part of the ship that could be useful for this project, you remember that you were running for like a week straight trying to get away from like being captured and like trying to just get your bearings in the city. In that time, you had made it from what you think you heard people calling the 3rd district is where you crashed. You made it all the way to the 1st district, which was the richer side of the town.
Gotcha.
So you do remember that side of the town, and in terms of things that you might have remembered from the ship that you could use, there are like purlin pieces that connect parts of the ship together, and there's some beams that you don't really remember the state of everything. You left in a hurry, but you do know there's a few things that you could probably use for your project.
Okay, cool. Then I'll finish going out the door.
Okay. As you do, everybody's already waiting. Like, it seems to be like they're going about like a little bit of a morning routine. Seems like breakfast was brought to y'all inside of your flat. I'm not sure what everyone would have requested, but there was someone who came around and made the rounds and made sure that you got where you were taken care of. There's plenty of food around for anybody.
Top of the morning, and I awkwardly make my way to a plate.
So is this the next day?
This is the next day.
How long were we asleep for? Can we guess? How long were
Make
we
an intelligence check.
Oh, I'm not very good at those.
You a dum dum.
Actually, don't. There is a timepiece in the room.
An hourglass?
And not an hourglass. It's actually
1 hour?
It's been roughly about 10 hours since each of you laid down and woken up, and like definitely the rest of you probably been up for about 30 minutes to an hour.
So for all of us, that's like
That's a
if our real bodies, we all have the trance thing.
Days.
Yeah, that'd be the equivalent of us sleeping for 2-3 days.
yeah.
Or 2 or 3 days less. Yeah.
A little groggy, but well rested. The food is great. The cushions where your beds were very adequate.
Very adequate.
5 out of 5 stars in Yelp.
Damn.
On TripAdvisor. So
Hotels.com?
what would you like to do? You know that in a week could be time to go visit and purchase some things, but would you like to leave the tavern? Would you like to go do anything?
I'm still laying on the couch and I'm finishing up that drawing that I started the night before.
Would you have woken up for all the food and whatnot? Would you have left it?
I would have left it. I would have just continued drawing.
There's plenty of food for you, Kai. But you do see that Zarin is over completing a piece of his sketch. So for the sketches that you did the night before, roll a performance check.
Ooh, 23.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Congratulations.
You can't help but feel a little bit of pride in what you've done. It looks great.
Yeah, again, this was that scene with the two chickens, big chicken, little chicken, in the nest, and everyone kind of working towards the portal. Him in front of the big mama with the paladin, right?
Yeah.
And they're kind of like, oh god.
I dig it.
I'm with you. I'm with it.
So, what would you like to do? Stay in the room, explore?
Just want to apologize for last night, everyone. We all have our moments of weakness, yeah?
Quite. The mask that Gentiana wears is on the right side of her face and is black. Just so everybody knows.
Spoopy.
What's up with the mask? It's always changing colors and whatnot.
She looks kind of a mess again. Just
I'm saying this while I'm like shoveling food. My bad.
sure. It reflects my mood. If I'm upset, angry, sometimes confused, or other than, happy to be here or in a better mood than now, it turns black and it switches to one side of my face. Any other mood, it is pearlescent white and it forms to the other side.
Do you have facial expressions? Why would you need that?
Because you ain't got a face.
Oh, shade. Not a shade.
It's cool under this shade, guys. It helps people understand when they need not talk to me. So, for those of them that can't read facial expressions very well, the mask helps. And this one has been with me for a very long time.
I'm gonna get up start walking towards, I guess, the door. Because you took the first room, right?
I just took a room. Yeah, but I was the first one to take a room, yes.
Did you leave your door open?
It is open, actually, yeah.
I'm just gonna like walk by, and as I look, I'm gonna be like, oh, and just see just the destroyed mess, I assume.
Yeah.
And the little thing hanging from the ceiling.
Well, I mean, you want me to paint it real quick?
Well,
it's just scribble in a fucking hammock.
And I want to notice
And a
this-
broken bed.
I want to see the scribbles on the walls, and I'm going to go in your room.
Oh.
Boundaries.
So, and I throw my spoon down.
Can he see him doing that?
Yeah, I mean, he's walking from the commons into my room, yeah.
I'm not like sneaking. I'm just
Right. So, you want to go have a look at my room, yeah?
And I don't answer. I'm just staring at the wall.
I'll go over and shut the door real quick.
Well, I'm in the room.
Oh, you're in the room?
Yeah, he walked
Oh,
in.
sweet, some privacy. That's kind of cool, I guess.
Fuck.
Wake up.
Open the door. Zarin?
What is this? And you said there's like a picture of like a blown out ship.
Yeah,
I assume that's like probably the biggest thing.
pretty much.
So that's what I'm just staring at.
And then there's a bunch of algorithms and a bunch of three different languages. Just because I know 3 different languages, shit's all jarbled together and stuff. Some of it doesn't make sense, but
So this is like
That's the biggest thing
like,
you're looking at, yeah.
Looking like a picture of a thing.
that would be my chef Stevie. What are you doing in my room?
What's this shit?
You really are one of a kind.
Well, sort
Tell you what, why don't we go back to breakfast and I'll explain there. I'd prefer you not, didn't you say you had a room yourself?
of. I slept on the couch.
Kai's just kind of like, alright.
This whole apartment's my room.
I pat him on the back. Don't touch anything and don't steal anything. And then I walk out.
As you do, like the little creation like tries to follow you, like touches you on the leg, and then kind of just rolls over on its like its half-formed body onto its back.
Shoving it under what's left of the bed. Just kind of behind it. Because he's obviously still looking at the wall.
Yeah, I'll kind of hear the end of it, and I'll see you as you're like finishing up.
Yeah, I'm just kind of
Just my vibrator.
I just kind of manually shut it off. Kill switch.
Are you okay?
Just scratching an itch. Breakfast, yeah. And then I actually get behind him and start pushing him out of my room.
I'm like, but
Right. Stevie. Big ship. I'll explain what it is. And then I shut the door behind me.
yeah, but I didn't get to
And
mess with the
lock it.
hammock. That's what I was gonna do too.
What were you gonna do?
I was gonna try and fuck with the hammock. And-
Not
he left-
today, sir.
I was gonna be like, what?
Not today.
So
Next time.
you pushed out of the room. Beatrix, you've been quiet. Are you just sitting there? Have you been talking?
Yeah, if there's a, like I said, morning, and I might have grabbed like something small. But is there like a balcony or tavern? Not tavern, a balcony, or just like an outside sitting area?
It all seems to be here. It's a big common area. And I would say, are you looking for a place to kind of be by yourself but still in the open? 'Cause
Yeah, like Beatrix doesn't like necessarily those closed in spaces. She likes being outside. What she's used to is her
So you go
outside.
up. You go up to a door. That's the pantry. You go up to another door. That's a big closet. Then you know the others are everybody else's rooms, and you search all the places where there could be a way outside, and there isn't. But there's a door that you came in. If you go and look down the hallway and you're exploring a bit, you can see at the far end there's a window, but it faces down into the tavern. Seems to be in this area you haven't seen
So-
anything that's window out. There's no outside area.
Yeah.
So the tavern and the hotel, or
All of it.
all of it's connected essentially. I got you. The speakeasy is this whole big thing. I got you. Cool.
We're supposed to be 10 floors up. Can she? Is it actually like a 10-floor top?
If she was to look out to the tavern floor,
And Sarah comes behind her.
So then, I'll just go back into like the common area, and then I'll walk up to Indiana and just be like, something troubling you.
Yes and no. It's nothing that any of you all did. This is more of myself. Seeing myself outside of myself. It affected me in a way that I didn't think it would. So I'm just going through the motions with that. Just trying to figure out what to do next.
I can understand. It was different because I feel held back. I don't quite know who I am, so I can relate.
What do you mean you don't know who you are?
I haven't quite figured that out. I feel as though I'm held back somehow. And I'll get into it later, I guess. I guess I'm just tired.
It was a very rough day yesterday, yes. But if you ever feel like you need to talk to someone that may understand a little more, since we do share something, you can talk to me whenever you wish.
And does your back feel sore?
Does it?
does your back feel sore?
Yes. My back
Nice.
feels
I love it.
What did y'all do last night?
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Oh, did the Avis throw down last night? Was that what happened? Or did I misread the room? Room for the people in North.
A little, yes.
like anything true.
Protruding.
I don't know. Sticking out, popping up. That just sounds terrible.
Now I'm picking up what you're putting down. I got you.
Smell what you're stepping in.
Paint what you're priming. I got you.
I think that
Tasting what you're cooking.
Sharpening.
not so much.
Sharpening what you're.
I win.
Sharpening what you're stabbing.
Sure. Stabbing what you're stabbing.
Anyway, continue, guys. Sorry.
I didn't know what she was. I was like, what the fuck is she talking about? And then I was like, oh!
The
My
red dot.
Hit me. I need the catcher's mitt this time. Wow. So yeah, it would. Probably. Now that you mention it, kinda, yes.
I don't know if it was a dream or a rough night or Kai throwing shit. I'm not sure.
He was quite loud last night, yes.
Did you see his room?
I'd rather not.
Are they close to me? Are y'all close to me?
I would
And I
assume this is going on while-
haven't seen Kai's room.
Well, this is
Like I was
probably
just
going on
curious
while our
about
thing is
because of
going
the
on,
sound
probably.
and everything.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
Because whenever I was,
I would
walked
just
out of my
assume so,
room, I was
yeah.
in that.
Yeah.
You can see that they're talking to each other from wherever you're at, but you
Yeah,
and Kyle-
this would
Probably
be
going
while
on
we're
while
standing in
we're
the
in
room
his
and
room.
he's asking, like, this conversation is going on simultaneous as that, so.
I don't know, just feel odd.
There's a lot of that going around.
Maybe it will pass.
Maybe.
I don't know. Just. Or
Have you looked in the mirror at it?
I broke mine.
Oh, you had a rough night too.
For a different reason again.
Understandable.
Damn, you ugly.
She's definitely not ugly.
Sam, can I join you? Are you sitting?
Yeah.
Like, are you still sitting? Like, eating?
Sure.
And then that's kind of where I was stopped for a minute.
Babel.
Can I see Gladys? Because that's your gun's name, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after I shut the door,
Mm-hmm.
turn.
Yeah, I assume you're wearing.
I'm always wearing. Why?
Can I tell that he's modified it?
He has it hidden under his sash currently, I believe. So it's hard to tell from the last time that you may have seen it.
What would be the reason, lass?
Well, it looks like. Did you make it?
Why?
Do you mind if I look at it?
I'll pull it out slowly.
Show me.
She's saying the right words.
You
You made
pull
it?
it out of
I
my
would say
pants.
typically Kai's like, no.
And I'll just kind of wave it.
Can I see it closer?
Probably.
My aunt makes things too. I help her. I'd like to.
I take the loading the cartridge out.
He took the fire blast cartridge out.
Be gentle.
Boom!
After saving throw. All right.
I'm just kidding.
No, I haven't rolled
That's
anything
my
yet.
favorite thing to do as a DM. I'm sorry.
That's
That
gonna
was
be an
good.
audio spike. if
What
I-
everyone was anticipating.
Yeah. But I am.
Wild magic search happens later.
Kai is like eagle eye
Yeah.
on her. Gladys.
A little safety briefing.
Looking over. So, do you always not have the sense the gods gave to rocks?
Wait, hold on. What?
Do you not always have the sense God gave to rocks? Is what she said.
Because looking back from the start, you showed up in a room with only dead ends for exits, with a bunch of people you didn't know. And the first thing you do is you pull out a gun, which is loud and will summon everybody in the area. And needs reloading, so you can't even have to worry about that.
You see that
Then-
switch there? It actually doesn't require reloading.
Alright, then let's continue on with this. You go and you find a very charismatic small man who
Was
who
it?
seems to have a problem getting through thresholds, and who doesn't speak in clear sentences or plainly, in a speech pattern very indicative of Infernal and Sylvan.
Kai pulls out a
Yeah.
piece of sweetweed.
You become instant friends with him, all sorts of other things. We do finally
I've
get
stopped our
into.
conversation and full
Yeah.
this shit.
We go
I'm
into.
currently casting prestidigitation on the food to arcade shit. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Assume it.
Continue,
Just
Sam.
Then we go into another room. Big, loud rockets, lots of noise. No exits, no windows, and there's a large horned gentleman offering you a drink, not telling you at all any of the things required to get it. And then, of course, you drink. Don't ask any questions about that. Let's see. Don't ask any questions about any of this. Later, you come across a magical item that I'm willing to bet you have no clue anything about what it was. So I know I did it, and I know a bunch of things about it. I had no idea of it.
Are you wanting to
wait.
see it too?
Oh no, that
And I
comes
pull it
later.
out and hold it.
You, an item
You
that
just whip it
visibly
all out.
disturbs another mana spawn, and you go out of your way to steal it, even though you know it's probably going to alienate everybody else around you. Let's see. Then you go up and you're offered a suspiciously large amount of money to do something that messes with people's heads. You ask no questions, you just say yes. Again. Then you're offered a contract. Doesn't look like you bothered to read anything, check to see if it's like magical or compel you to do anything, because you're busy tinkering this whole time. Because I'm just saying, this is how people get trapped in the Feywild or get turned into warlocks.
I'm gonna head out.
But
This is an intervention right here.
Jesus fuck. I guess so.
Probably the most foolish thing of all of them is that when a
wrecked a
nice
hotel.
girl asks to see your weapon, you say okay, never once questioning, what can something that doesn't have a mouth eat?
Oh shit!
Are you implying that you're going to try to eat my fucking gun?
I don't have to eat the gun part.
Oh, she just ate.
Does he check?
Huh?
Yeah, I'm immediately checking what's wrong with Gladys.
What did you do to Gladys?
Just scared the
What
living
did you
hell out of him. So.
Take a check.
That would be... And I'm using my I pull out the finger tools.
You're messing with him?
Mhm.
Roll a deception check with advantage.
Okay.
Jesus.
Ooh.
The same one.
What'd you get?
What did she get?
7.
18.
Okay. Dang, I was hoping that you would never be able to find out what she did. You would always be suspicious that something's wrong with
I
Gladys.
leveled up. His intelligence
Yeah.
is coming back, damn it.
Okay, so you look, you know by the weight nothing was done. You can see the components on it. There's, you know them all by heart. All 3,000, I don't know, however many components there are to Gladys.
Jeez, 23.
All there, all functioning, all springs
Is
are...
that a reference?
Yes.
I want an itemized list.
There's no cracks, there's spring tension,
Yeah.
everything seems to be fine.
To his.
Everything seems to be fine?
Yeah, but it does give you a glimpse into who you're dealing with.
Oh,
Because you do.
So
it
there
was
is,
it was
there is
enough.
nothing wrong with it, right?
Yes, but there was enough to make you concerned to look that she said to you. So, but there's nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
It's not fun sitting next to a body wondering if it's going to wake up again. Don't do stupid things.
After she's done ranting. What about warlocks?
Well, I mean, if you're going to make a fun bad decision, you should at least read the small print for it. He did not.
But I am a warlock.
Do you read the small print?
You have no idea what I've fucking gone through in my life. And to be quite frank with you, I don't remember much, and I'm desperately trying. Threaten me one more time. Whether you have a face or not, you're not gonna have a fucking head.
Is there something wrong with Gladys?
I kick open the door to my room. I want to do a very quick not investigation. I want to.
So you're gonna go into your room, and are you gonna do?
Grab my belongings.
Okay.
It won't work, so never mind. I'm gonna grab my belongings and walk out
Of your room?
of
Or
the whole place with the intent
The
to
rest of y'all see what he's doing.
go down the stairs. That's where I'm headed, or getting ready to go.
Okay.
But yeah.
I'm gonna follow him.
Okay.
Finger guns.
Beatrix is just kind of in shock. She's just a peacemaker.
As I walk out of the room, I'm going,
Like, okay.
because where were we all at in proximity?
Probably near his.
Near your room, essentially.
Yeah, and
Kind
I
of
had
on the way to
closed.
the front
Actually,
door.
I'd closed the door
Okay.
after pushing. So you would have been right. You literally would have been shoulder to shoulder with me unless you walked away.
Yeah, I
because was
walked
pushing
away
you.
towards the food. And I
Yes,
did
right. That's
follow
right.
him.
So yeah, but
So
still,
I'm
10
gonna
feet,
yeah,
maybe?
yeah, I'm gonna walk by, and I'm just gonna say to you as all, that was a little harsh, and then just walk out.
And I look at Gentiana and I'm just like, what was in there? Breakfast.
Well, she made fun of me too, so I'm going to figure out what she means by warlocks. Back to you. So,
Did you read the small print?
define small print, and why would I need to read small print?
Did you decide that
She did.
did you read the small print?
Did I decide to become one?
Did you know it?
No. I did not.
Also you. It's not fun sitting next to a body wondering if it's gonna wake up. Don't do stupid things.
Stupid things would be killing yourself, correct?
No. Depends on the reason, I suppose. So, I mean, do you know
Jesus Christ.
where are the others parts of it? I mean, do you think
Just
you're
to
gonna come
clarify,
back?
we do not support
Do I think
suicide
it's
in any way, shape, or form. We actually hope to prevent
well,
it.
I mean, I don't know about warlocks, but I know if I screw up enough,
Yeah.
that if I
This went for a turn, motherfucker. This went for a turn.
if I screw up enough, there's a way that if I just stab myself, I'll come back as something else. So
Well,
there's weird wild magic surge stuff.
I wouldn't come back. But if you've been alive for as long as I have, you'd probably want to kill yourself. And I've tried. And I'll walk away.
Interesting. I mean,
It's always the quiet ones. You gotta fucking go.
I'm telling you. I'll
And
walk
I'm
back
just-
over to Beatrix and I'll be like,
I was about to say I was gonna like just like put my arm around him, like give him a little hug.
Her?
I said give him,
Oh.
not him.
did you learn not to just whip out your gun and give it all?
Do you say that on the way down?
No, we already left.
That would be
I'm
great.
just following.
No, his question
blindly.
is, what does it Gladys?
yeah, that would be his question. So I'll walk back over to Beatrix and be like, I'm going for a walk. I need to clear my head.
Understand.
Okay. And as I'm walking out of the room, I don't know if that was a threat, but if we're going to be friends, I don't think we should make fun of each other.
It wasn't fun. At least it wasn't intentional.
Sure, I understand, but
Sorry.
well, by all means, sometimes we don't have choices in life. But to Kai, ouch, I just walk away.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Okay.
I'm alone with all the breakfast.
I was about to say
That
no.
was so damn it!
Oh my god, she is a master at work.
Holy shit!
I'm alone with
I'm
all the
still
breakfast.
standing in there.
Oh, okay.
Kai still has the whole top shelf minus 3 bottles to go drink/eat.
Yeah. That's not where I'm headed, though.
Jeez.
Well,
Beatrix, you and Babel were the last two in the room.
I'm just kind of sad. I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna drink the drink.
Like the Hermit the Crab, or Hermit the
Kermit the Frog?
Kermit the
You just said Hermit the
He said Hermit the Crab.
Hermit the Crab.
Hermit the Frog.
Hermit the Frog.
That needs to be a cartoon. Hermit the Crab.
Yes.
Do it,
Hermit.
somebody.
Did I remind you of like a hermit, like just hiding in my
No,
shell?
there's that meme where it's like, but that ain't none of my business.
The
Louis
yeah.
Anyways, so
I was thinking that or that
Oh
kid
my God.
with the like cup in his hand. He's like,
Yeah, that's
I mean,
exactly what I was doing. Like
Genuinely, Beatrix just has like a servant heart. Like,
until she said
she
warlock,
likes
and then I was
to
like,
help
hold up.
people. And so at this point, like, I couldn't console him. I don't know what to do about that. I have nothing to say about that. So just kinda, I'm here.
do you feel like going outside?
Is there an outside?
You can't leave.
I just want to
She's about to jump across this table and kill you.
We're just
Yes.
the speakeasy is like tavern, special room, dream room, all that's
Okay.
in.
Yeah,
all that's in
I want to go like outside,
Okay.
and I'm
Is that-
just gonna be like,
Is that all of yours intentions today?
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm following him.
I just need to breathe.
That's
Well, I
awesome.
didn't know when we were gonna do the.
We can.
I'm just
we
taking
can,
a walk. I'm
We
not doing
can
anything
long
crazy.
play your week, or we can short play it. We can, if you would like. I do think that y'all seeing the city for the first time might be something we could long play, and then we could dive into your exploration of that a bit.
Yeah.
But it's totally y'all's game,
Yeah.
and my game.
I'm just taking a walk. I don't want to do anything
I think
crazy.
it'd be cool if we throughout the week hit on moments, you know, just kind of how we've been doing already, you know.
Yeah. So, you going downstairs?
Which you were with me, right?
Yeah, I was following.
Then yeah. So I go up to Zinch. Well, is Zinch at the bar?
It's been a couple hours. Zen seems to still be going at it.
Okay.
That dude is a trooper.
That he is. And then I walk up to him and
Anything from your shelf?
Jesus.
Well, good morning to you too.
What would Zarin say
Hey.
to that?
That's the first thing you've asked for every time I've seen you. It's just what I'm gonna assume you want. Straight to business.
Today's more about luxury
Okay.
and relaxation.
District 1. That's where you should go. If
Fair
that's
enough.
what you're interested in.
That being said, I needed to acquire certain wares, everything from scrap metal to trinkets, odds and ends. Where might that be?
Well, what I can tell you is that the first district is going to be mainly for if you want a good drink, if you want to see beautiful people, rich people, and spend a lot of money. There are definitely things to see there. But if you're looking for scrap metal, is that what you
Somewhere to
guys?
shop, basically.
Somewhere to shop. Okay.
Marketplace.
Sorry,
My bad.
Tyler threw in scrap metal. I know that's not what you just asked for. Where's I would go to District 3. And he looks you over. I gather you're the do things with your hands type. There's plenty of people that are the working class. There's also the it's a very industrial area. Be careful though. I hear things are going a little crazy. Apparently some ship crashed into it about a week ago.
Working class is my best class, and I hold my hand out to him.
He puts it out. We're shaking hands again.
Sorry about
Let's do
last
it.
night. And then I walk. The purple one, and does that one have a snake in it?
Oh no! He shakes it up. It's a worm.
The purple one?
Okay. You want a glass of it? Or you want the whole bottle?
Just.
Okay. All right.
And then I walk out with the intent to go to District 3. You tagging along, boyo?
Sure, why not?
And I. So you want to see the real Stevie?
I almost wanted that. I just wanted to ask what's a Stevie. Nope, not doing it.
Well, you already know what it is.
Yeah, I know. Sure. Why not?
Put my arm around him. I'm on that, and then we'll head that way.
You made a friend. Look at you.
I was the only one not being a total dick.
Jeez.
Well,
Well, I mean, you were
I
about
didn't do
to.
anything.
You were about that whole conversation was about 2 seconds away
No.
from you getting blind.
Sorry, that was out of character because you guys talk shit about Kai too. Salty and smelly and shit.
What?
What? What?
I never saw that.
So
Getting it feels.
Flashbomb.
yeah.
Wow.
So on the
Fancy.
Oh no. Is it
Uh-oh.
okay? Just double check the. It's probably fine.
there was an earthquake on that side of your screen.
We are good.
All right.
Very
Cool.
localized. Which one?
1,000 apologies, everyone.
My eyes. So you're going to be heading out. You're looking at all the hallways that protrude out from here. You do see that there is one that says to Sora, "Follow."
Where couldn't I find this before? I was looking.
It was huge.
Just a giant neon sign. Sora.
Yes. You've unlocked this part of the story.
Ah.
You progress down this hallway for a bit. In the meantime, what are the rest of you doing?
Going to the city as well, but I don't want anything particular. I just want to get outside.
Okay.
What's that face?
I don't like being inside,
Hmm.
character-wise. I love being inside. Makes it nice. Fuck outside. It's too hot out there.
What would you like to do?
Probably just go down to the bartender because I need directions for a place.
So I'm checking outside.
Oh, you're trying to go outside? Okay.
Everybody's going
Are
outside.
I was
you
gonna say
Are
that
you with her?
No, she went her own.
Oh, okay.
You can go your own way. All right.
Tyler's been waiting to do that all night, apparently.
Yeah. So.
I saw his notes earlier. It has that written and underlined 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Look
The next
behind the
one is Aaron dead.
Hey, look behind the screen.
No, I was joking.
So by the time you get downstairs, you see that they're heading in a certain direction. You see that it says City of Sora in the direction of the hallway that they've chosen. If y'all walk down with her and you walk up to the bar and begin to ask questions, you see as she begins to walk away, I'm guessing? Or you're just, is your sole mission to get out, or are you gonna head down with them? I don't know. It's up to you.
It's like, I don't know, because Beatrix is like so confused because he was like, I need to be alone.
I didn't say that. I just said I needed to go outside. I'm just going for a walk.
Oh, no. Well, I think what she's saying is your mask was black. You mentioned that whenever it's like this, it's kind of to tell people, like, sometimes I don't want to talk, right? But that's not...
More or less. I wasn't putting off the fact that I wanted to be alone. If that's what you perceived, fine. But I never said I wanted to.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll just stop at that little bar.
Babble.
Bobble.
And just like slide up next to him and be like,
Bobble.
are you trying to find a way or directions to?
Yeah. I'm just, like I said, just going for a walk.
Hey, yeah, your friends, they just headed out the door. I didn't know. Are y'all going after him?
I am not going after him, no.
Okay. All right. Looking out.
We will reconvene whenever we need to, but I think he needs to be by himself for a while, or with our other friend,
Lightbulb.
the light bulb. I'm not looking for anything in particular, but what's the best place to take a walk around the city? Your opinion.
I would definitely. It depends on what you're into. If you're into having a moment of quiet, being out in the wilderness, there's a part of the city for that. That'd be District 2. But if you're in need of entertainment, there's an arena in District 4. So it's up to you what you're looking for. There's the Forest of Sora. It's beautiful. Places on the water to sit and think.
You said District 2 for that.
It's right, overlooking the River Celesta. Part of it depends on, you can also overlook the River Sirocco, it's up to you. Or, the River Circa, sorry.
I thought quite alright. Thank you. And I'll look over to Beatrix and be like, if you need me, or if you want to come, I'm going to District 2.
Okay. And then I don't know how.
Did you follow her? Or are you up there with all the food?
I started to come down.
Oh,
She
okay.
is munching.
Yes!
I'm
I'm looking for a place for maybe, I guess it would be like a enchanter place. Not enchanter.
We
And
have
she's
that.
like struggling to think about what to call it. She's like, I have a glowing thing that I need read.
A glowing thing you need read.
Like, I don't know. Is that?
A doctor?
I guess, like,
Can I hear her?
yes. And Zench says, well, you need red, because is it glowing red? Because, I mean, there might be
No.
creams and ointments for that.
No, he it's a part of me. Like maybe I need
Thingamajigs.
You just want to do some
Do it,
research on
like
it. You don't-
I want someone to like help me figure it out.
Well, there's actually a pretty decent tattoo artist in town. Is that a tattoo? Or is it something else?
I guess I was born with it, or at least as long as I can remember.
Were you born with it? Or was it as long as you can remember? Those are two different things. mom and dad say you were born with it? Sorry, I didn't mean to pry. I don't. Tell you what, yeah.
Does it look like a tattoo?
Make a perception check.
You said I could hear?
Oh, what's that?
You said that I could hear?
Yeah, you can hear.
What's a tattoo?
Does it look like words?
It looks like a tattoo.
It's a nat 1.
Letters.
It's something on her
I
arm.
was everyone.
Maybe she's got
It
a smudge.
seemed
Yeah,
in
don't
my
worry about it.
world that I was close to, they had the same thing, but it's burning. Ever since I went into that wooden room.
Can I read what it says?
Let's see. As a translator background,
Well, I mean, I do know several languages, so.
is it, would you say that it's something that can be read, like script, or is it, do you,
I mean, you can, it is letters, but it doesn't actually make like a word that would actually like, it's not like clock or book. Like it has a, she's very tribal looking. I described that in like the first campaign. And so she's assuming like it's still her tribe had the same thing, but ever since she left there, like broke through that wall, it slowly started burning and burning and burning. Like not on fire, just the sensation. So she wants to find out why all of a sudden it's causing her pain when it didn't before.
Okay.
I don't know if that's something.
No, for sure. So when Zench is looking and hears the discussion between the two of you, like he's starting to think along the lines of, are you trying to read it?
Yeah.
Okay. Make a Arcana check.
15. No, wait. It's 9. 16.
You do see that the style of the tattoo kind of is reminiscent of like of what would be considered tribal for sure. I mean that's something you could just tell from a glance as well, but as it kind of has this glowing to it, it's I'm trying to think of the right words to describe it. Something arcana is to it, but there's something more that isn't arcana. Something you haven't studied.
But does it actually look like a language, or does it look like magic, runic sort of stuff?
Maybe a little of both. It's still hard to say. Some investigating some more prodding and researching might need to be done. You don't think it's a language you could read, though?
Even with comprehend language?
Right. It doesn't seem like it's a language. Or like along those lines.
Do you know of a district that may help, or maybe?
Well, if you're looking for, it looks like kind of a tribal tattoo to me. I would say there is a tattoo artist you could talk to. Issa is his name. I don't know. He might be able to shed some light. I also know that there are tattoos out there that can. I don't know where I'm going with this accent. It's not where it intended to go.
Let it flow, bro.
But what I do know is that he can enhance your abilities through tattoos as well. If you have enough money, and I think he takes gemstones of some sort to enhance abilities, so he might be able to help in that region. But there's also a library in District 1, but his tattoo shop is in the southern part of District 4.
I think I'd be interested in, even if I can't find it out, enhancing ability. That would be nice. You said District 4.
What'd you say District 2 was again, real quick?
foresty type area.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's the same spot. Then. Never mind.
2 is
Okay.
like the forest area. 3 is like the industrial area.
Gotcha.
4 seems to be like the arena, place you'd get a tattoo.
Nice.
Nice. District 1 seems to be very lavish in description from what you've gathered from what Sencha said.
Nice.
Kyle probably make a trip or 2 to the rich part of the neighborhood. Why not?
Just go fuck with some fancy pants, britches and shit.
Yeah. Maybe. Oh, I just remembered something. Okay, before me and him actually walk out into the streets, I pulled him to the side and so I had a bit of problem with the authorities around here. I'm about to do something a little. Just go with it, okay?
Okay.
And then I take my bandana off and I flip it and take my calligraphy pen out real quick and I just kind of write something on it and put it back on, and as I put it on I cast disguise self. I'm human, bushy hair, kind of fat, and he has a pencil mustache. But I'm wearing I don't know, common clothes, I guess. Just kind of like you said, working class. Call me a Randall. Let's keep going. And then we walk.
I can't do this anymore.
What does Aaron think of this? What is your reaction?
He's gonna draw a sketch.
I'm gonna draw Bob Ross with a pencil mustache.
There you go. It's not a fro, it's just bushy.
I mean, I have people looking for me too, so maybe changing the way I look wouldn't be so bad. And I just kind of close my eyes, and then I just change the color of myself to kind of a very light orange. And then you see me mumble some words, and then I cast prestidigitation. Just make just a necklace.
Very cool.
How was that? But everything else is exactly the same. Clothes, everything.
Kyle, a small piece of Kyle wants to tell him, keep working on it. You look fucking great. I pop him on the back. Shall we?
Let's go. God damn it.
Alright, cool, y'all. Let's split the
Now
card.
I'm orange.
Mine's easy.
I'll just play.
I'm walking.
Okay.
I'm not doing anything specific.
Okay.
I'm easy.
We're gonna go see One Time Stevie.
Alright.
One
Real
time,
easy.
Stevie.
One Time Stevie.
So, as you step out into the city, let me grab my map.
We got a map for this?
There's a map.
Do
There's a map.
if you go to the Discord that I sent y'all a link to,
Mom's
there
dead.
is the map.
Link in the description.
But you only have a map. You're the only one amongst
Yeah,
the group.
don't
that
look,
does.
you cheaters.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I got you.
I'm looking.
Sir,
I'm not.
I advise you to not look, or there will be consequences.
Oh, I'm looking.
You're dead. The map kills anyone that looks at it. That's not me.
So,
Death save.
Jeez.
All three failed.
y'all, as you step out, you're going down this hallway. You see these double doors that are very ornate and fancy and huge and a big deal. And as you're opening the doors, you walk through. You breathe the air of Sora again. Just as clean or as dirty as you remember. But as you look around, you see this towering building to your right and to your left. And to your right, to your left. And seems to be this giant dome that's spherical and is a rounded like top to it. Has like this pristine glass like finish to the top. It's capped off. It's darkened with like stone bricks that are large, and it towers into the sky. And then on the other side is this massive clock tower that is attached to this square building. There's a couple other buildings around it as well. People are moving around the city. This part of it as well. But you walk out the door, you turn, it's a fucking wall. Not a door anymore behind you.
Okay. So we're in the street and look at the door we just came out of and it's gone.
We just got platform 9 3/4. That's what happened.
Well, fuck that, Sky High. And then I trot to...
You just pick a direction?
No, District 3 is
Okay,
what... I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I have to do this, otherwise it would be meta. I'm gonna look for the closest person, and I need to ask if they have a map, or where I can find a map.
You see a squat, broad shoulders, skeletal, like scaly lizard man, green with like a red fin on his head, and he turns around and like he has these like long robes and he has like a bunch of books in one hand.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
You wouldn't happen to have a map of this city, would you?
No, I do not.
As he's asking,
yeah.
I'm like walking by with a map of the city.
The lizard man looks over and he just starts to try and walk away, like.
Which my hat, my bandana is now this like ridiculously oversized fedora, and I'm just kind of like, oh, thank you. And I come up and be like, and just kind of look at the map as we're walking. I'm just kind of like, nope. That's how you hold the map. And then we'll make our way to District 3.
Okay.
Which way is up?
So you're heading southward, and as you're progressing, you pass through a couple of parts of the city. It takes you with the map. You're making a navigation survival check with advantage. So either one of you roll each, or one of you roll with advantage.
I mean, Navigator's Tools isn't just the spyglass. Like, I have little things.
Okay.
Stuff with it, so I don't
Do
mind
it.
doing it unless are you good with.
No, you can do it unless you want to make it separate. It doesn't matter to me.
I don't.
So there'd probably be a compass involved in that.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
kit. Yeah.
With advantage, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever you did earlier, thanks. Because I got a 16 plus 4, so that's
20.
20.
You go.
Dirty 20.
As you make your progression southward, you can see that there's this large bridge that has like these connections that go above the bridge and underneath it, and it takes you from this part of the city. You're looking around, you can see on the map that you're in District 5. It's the most central part of the city, and you're heading towards this bridge that will take you down to the 3rd District. And as you're passing, it seems to be very pleasant in this area. There's a lot to see in terms of like architecture and like history as well, like that clock tower and that whatever that other tower was.
Can I make a perception check to see if any wanted posters of me are anywhere in the vicinity?
Make a
Or something along those lines?
yeah, make a perception check. What?
9.
9. Big old 9. Nope. So as you're looking around, you you see a bunch. There's a lot to take in. This is the first time you've actually slowed down and walked through this city, and there's a lot of details that are catching you, but not those. You don't see any pictures, posters of you. And as you look around, you don't really see many kind of posters or things like that stuck in this area on anything.
Okay.
You make it to the bridge after it takes you about 4 hours to make it out of District 5.
Okay.
It's a big city.
Damn.
Yeah. You get to this long bridge, and you can see as you look down into the water, and like you kind of have a better perspective from here to see out. It seems like District 5 is kind of like up on a hill, and you're looking out. You can see that the water that is underneath this bridge, over in the distance, coalesces with another river. These waterways, and you're looking at the map, here is where they meet. Circa and Celesta, the two rivers. As you progress forward, back to our other moving party. What are y'all doing?
Once I find District 2,
Okay.
where do I come out at whenever I exit the speakeasy?
You would come out in a similar setting. You would see these towers that was described before, this giant clock tower, this giant tower with this dome on top, and other kind of administrative or tall buildings, or just, it's kind of very, I'm trying to think of the words to describe it. Some of it looks a little gothic, some of it looks it all looks great. It looks like there was a lot of design and time that went into planning all these buildings and how they connected. But District 2 is where you're heading?
If I have to ask someone, I'll stop someone and be like, excuse me,
Sir and or madam.
sir and or madam, I don't know who you are.
Say short halfling woman.
Short halfling one. No.
It's a good way to run directions.
Right. Excuse me, miss.
Oh, yes.
What? I'm new around here. The fastest way to District 2?
Well, you probably have to go north to District 1 to get to District 2.
Fair enough.
So I would suggest going up to Spindle Market. You can cut through there, follow the roads around. When you see Agaddon's Theater, you need to turn right. After Agaddon's Theater.
You're very gracious. Thank you so much.
That would be 12 gold.
People in this area do seem like they're some of them are coming from this building wearing robes and they have books. They're wearing
Scholars. Do they look scholarly?
They look very, maybe they would blend in with that sort. You also see guards coming in and out of the same building. You
Fancy.
make a intelligence check. Are you trying to gather what some of these buildings do?
Sure. That's not bad. 15.
You can, well, as you're looking around trying to gather everything, you can see that the people are coming out seem to have something to do with maybe practicing laws, is what you would gather. Guards and people of educated fashion seem to be coming in and out of this very long and wide building with these large steps that lead up to where there's multiple columns holding up a giant flat roof. And inside, further in you can't see, but there's a huge archway to get into one of these buildings. It's where most people are coming in and out of. And above it, you see where it reads Bilmy Courts.
Bilmy Courts.
Bilmy Courts.
Okay. all-
two adventuring with them?
No.
Were you coming with me, or are you going? Oh, you're going elsewhere. That's
I
right.
was going to District 4, but when we were exiting, would we go the same way?
You probably would have, and around the same time.
Then what I'd probably do is, just so I'm not like alone by myself, because I just established like a group that I was following, so I don't want to be solo. Mind if I tag along with you? I was going to look into some other things, but we can do that another time.
By
I
all
won't be
means.
involved.
That's fine. I don't care.
All right.
However you want to do it. If that's what your mind's eye wishes you to do.
Babel,
And that's good.
what are you doing?
So we're heading north.
Pablo's gonna try and fix things. Going up to Zinch.
Hey,
Hello, Mr.
Zinch, no need to be formal. No mister.
Mister was my father.
I need to do a shopping run. A butcher, a bookstore, and this is a port town, right? Sora? Like actually on the water.
Well, there is water, but the ports lead to
Why?
space.
Okay. So the actual well, then that's not very helpful. I was hoping to find like one of those really tacky gift stores. I don't think they have those here.
Oh, you'd be surprised. Go to District 1. It sounds like most of everything. You were looking for some food, you were looking for some books, and you were looking for some souvenirs. Make sure you bring your wallet. It's a little expensive. Like, very expensive. That'd be District 1.
Fancier. Okay then. Get off.
Okay. You head off and you pop out. You can see, I don't know how long it would have been after they had left that you leave, but in the sky, there are two suns that are perpetually at sunset, and this paints this place in this very beautiful scene where it's almost dark enough to see the stars, but bright enough to enjoy the sunset or sunrise.
At the same time.
There is no night.
At least not today. There doesn't seem to be night. You look at the clock tower. It says 4:40. Each of you would have seen it probably 10-minute increments earlier. What would you like to do?
Head off in that direction.
Okay. Well, you would probably have to gather some means of information to move ahead. So y'all make a. So you would make it with. Do you want to talk to somebody, or are you just gonna try and
Sure.
okay? Make a. Oh, you're gonna try and talk to somebody. So you approach what seems to be another. It would be probably a guard talking to. Seems to be some sort of educated person. One seems to be tiefling. One seems to be human. The guard's the tiefling.
Excuse me, sir. Which direction is District 1?
He looks you up. Not looking to cause any trouble over there, are you?
No, I'm actually trying to undo trouble.
Oh well.
She
By
says
all
the guard.
means, it's you just go north.
Not suspicious at
Follow,
all.
follow the District 1 bridge out of here. It's he points you in that direction.
Thank you.
So yeah, getting out of District 5 seems to be pretty easy. It takes about 4 hours, but it's like the smaller district out of all of them. From the center, it takes 4 hours to get to the other side by foot. By the time you each get to your respective bridges that you're
Trespassing.
moving past,
Technically, I am. I guess.
you can see out into the part of the city that you're going. Whereas Kai and Zoran, they look out and they can see these buildings where there's arcane energy that seems to flash from one to another, and parts of it, like you can see moving parts and cranes, and in the far distance lower down, you can see docks that seem to float into to where the water meets, and there are walls that are kind of like staggered on the way down. Plumes of smoke come off and rise up from the buildings, and you can hear, like, it's way louder once you get to the end of the bridge and you're looking down at everything. That there's a lot of hustle and bustle here, and there's a lot of people moving carts. There's people yelling at each other, very passionate about whatever they're doing, and they're just trying to get into the. And you can see that there are shops. You can see there are, like, when I say shops, like workshops, but you can also see dens of people like gathering around trying to fix something. There's a lot going on in this part of the city, and whereas for the two of you, as you progress your way north, you see things turning from kind of like still nice, it's getting even nicer. As you approach this bridge, there are parts of it that are like inlaid what you mistake for a moment as gold, which is just very shiny bits of marble that are this kind of stone that kind of looks gold, especially the way the lights are hitting, the sunset is hitting. And as you get to the end of this bridge, you start to look down over this city. You can see in the far distance is a large castle rising up in the north, and there is a large wall all the way around it, but further in from it there seems to be some sort of maybe a school, some place of education where there are spires that are around it and they rise up as well. There are there you can see maybe what could have been a round structure that's very large, and there's the people who are moving around here can be seen wearing these extravagant clothing, just things that like you wouldn't consider wearing, like a scarf of gold, or just things that are inlaid with gems and all kinds of jewels, and everyone for the most part is dressed in this way. There's a lot more security as you progress further north. You can see that the guards maintain some security along the walls. And as you progress past these bridges,
I'm looking for Egadon's Theater.
Okay.
So that's what I'll be keeping my eye out for, is Egadon's Theater.
Okay. Alright, so we're going to continue with this. You're progressing that way. Let me pull up. I'm going to need to print this out before next session, because there is plenty to reference here for me. Stand by.
Standing by somewhat. I'm sitting by, actually.
Okay. As you start to go down off of this bridge and go further into this part of the city, you can see that Egadon's Theater is going to be a lot of a walk. It was probably about 4 hours to get out of the District 5, and if you keep this pace, it's probably going to be another 4 or 5 hours to get to Egadon Theater. But as you're progressing, you can see that there are, to your left, some sort of living community. Very fancy houses, large yards, made of stone and marble, and in very fancy designs. This is definitely where part of the city goes to retire or enjoy their nest egg of money that they've accumulated, and display it.
So seeing the amount of distance it is to get to where I'm trying to go, I'll stop and see if I can't speak to a guard for a second.
See about transport or something.
Maybe not. Excuse me.
And you can see this guard turns towards you. He has this star-like symbol on his cape that he's wearing. Yes.
The quickest way to District 2?
Well, you're going to turn over at Egadon's Theater. I would say the quickest way is to go around it.
That's what I was afraid of. Okay.
There's a bridge down that way that'll take you to that district. You just got to get around Egadon's Theater.
Thank you. I'll look over to Beatrix, and I didn't realize it was going to take this long to get to where I was trying to go. Do you wish to continue, or I was thinking about actually maybe going back.
To Sora? That's where District 1?
This is we are in Sora.
Yeah.
This is the city.
Going back to the tavern.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just not quite sure because this is only District 2. Where I want to go, I'd have to go to District 4.
Yes, I'm quite confused on how the city works and if there's some kind of transportation system.
So Beatrix, you see, as y'all are talking right in front of this guard, and the guard seems to be trying to like step back away and turn around. There's this kid. He just pulled his hand out of somebody's pocket nearby you.
Asshole.
And he goes to run away to an alleyway.
So, as like I was saying,
Did you just see that boy? I'm talking to the girl.
He turns around. What
That-
boy?
The little boy that just took something out of that person's pocket. He's running around the corner now.
Alright. And he starts to run. Like he's looking around the corner to see what you're talking about. I don't see anything.
Can I do like
She's a rat.
snitch.
Can I do a,
Snitches get stitches.
I guess, investigation?
You want to go check out the...
I want to go see where that boy's going.
Okay. So he darted off. He probably made it about 50 feet, and he turned down an alleyway that's about 50 feet from you. You would have to go down that way. Are you going to progress that way to check it out? Check it out.
Part of me just wants to.
What's
I can. I just have a little hunch of something. I'm not sure. I can meet you at the tavern, but I'm gonna go see something real quick. You can follow, or I'll see you there.
Very well.
So as you turn down the alleyway, you can see that there's a kid who's he's counting out coins on the ground real quick. He thinks he got away with it.
Rookie move.
So I
All right.
go up to her like, do you need money?
And he real quick, he scrambles and knocks the pile over. And at this point, the guard might have followed you,
Yeah.
in behind you, and is looking around for this kid. Let's see. The kid would try and scramble the money into the bag and then try and dart off.
I kind of have a hunch or a feeling that might, yeah.
I mean,
I
he
don't
would.
want to get blamed for his spilled coins.
Okay. So.
I mean, if he needed money, I was just gonna give him money.
He darted off.
Yeah.
He grabbed a few coins, but there's still some laying on the ground.
Tell that cop the kid went running so you don't get busted.
Yeah, so
Well, that's
That's
what
them
I was saying.
outside.
Yeah, they're looking for that kid.
there's sirens going off. You can't hear it in the mics right
Yeah.
now. So the guard's gonna turn and come up behind you. He's like, I guess you weren't kidding. Where'd he go?
He darted off that way.
All right. And he's like, I guess I'll take it serious now. I gotta do my job. And he starts running in this heavy armor.
Clank, clank,
Clank,
clank,
clank, clank,
clank,
clank.
clank.
And he goes off.
Is he gone?
Yeah.
Is there some money on the ground?
Yeah.
What a
Thief!
I just.
You don't give me shit for trying to
Thief!
man.
I mean, I was trying to give him money,
Yeah, it's
He left
about
it there.
it's about
I
like
was trying to give him
12
money
gold
by giving
pieces.
him
That
my
actually is the
keys.
epitome of
Like,
finders keepers.
10 silver.
I just gotta get up and then
Do
go
you
back
wait
to
till
the-
till the guard's out of sight?
Yeah, that's why I was saying, is he gone? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it with him right around the corner.
Yeah, he's gone.
I hope that kid comes back and steals out of your pockets. If I see it, I'm not gonna see it.
Wow.
Okay.
I tried to give you money, but he threw it off.
So, anyways, if you or did you stay behind to see the scene, or did you move on?
I'll wait till I'll just wait a couple minutes just to see if she's coming back.
Okay.
And I'm just running up and down.
She didn't come back. Oh, she's dead.
Literally. I just like,
Yeah, yeah.
you ready to go to the tavern? I don't say anything to him like that I picked up it or anything because I don't want anybody around
Did-
to hear. I'll tell him
as-
out the tavern.
Did you find the kid?
No. Got a little thief.
Yeah,
Very well.
those thieves.
You
I
said,
wanted to just chasing after him.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
Did you say, are you ready to go to the tavern?
I'm retracting what I was gonna do. I didn't realize how far it was away. My character is just like, been a long day already. I'm gonna make the 5-hour trip back.
Well, as you go to turn, you see a similar door to the one that you were looking, or that you left out of.
Fucking
Whenever
going home.
Whenever
Finds
you-
the nearest
but
table
it-
and flips it.
it seems to have appeared after you said, "Are you ready to go back to the tavern?"
What? This random door popped up?
It's but it's on a building that you specifically remembered it not being.
See that door?
I think it's listening to us.
Should we
So-
go through it? Like a little.
See if we can play games with
Wait.
it.
I wonder. Okay.
Let's change
okay,
our
wait,
minds
wait. Let's
again.
say. Okay, let's go to District 4.
No, we're not going back to the tavern. Let's if that happens, let's just continue.
No, I'm like, I want to
You wanna
legit
experiment
test
with
it
it.
out
Mhm.
to see if I say let's go to
Oh, I see.
District 4.
I
and
see
then
what
see
so
if it
I
has
see-
a door.
So
I
as
see
you
where
as
you're
you say
going
that,
with
the door seems to vanish.
this. I see what you're saying.
Okay, so that door must just bring you back to the tavern.
Probably. But I don't know if it needs a building or not. See what I'm saying? If we go to a forest where there's no places for a door to show up, that's where I was going to have. But
So tempting.
maybe we can tell the tavern where we want to go next time, and it'll just plop us out there.
Okay. Change your mind again. Do you want to go to the tavern?
Or we hire a big
Did you
dwarf
ask
to
do you want to go to
follow
the
us and
tavern?
build walls.
Yes,
where
Change
they
your
would
mind
be.
again. See if the door pops up.
You're looking at the wall where it was before. You don't see it, but as you turn, you see it on another building.
One of these times it's not going to show up. Girl and cry door.
It's
I
more
have
like a
something
portal,
that I
like,
think is going
remember-
on, but I'm not there, so I
like
can't see
remember
it.
in the dream, you just hop through
Yeah,
a
I
portal.
know. I think I know
Ripon,
what they
he had a
can
portal.
do.
Maybe we can.
Ripon brought us to the tavern.
Maybe we can.
Remember when Ripon said if we wanted to go back somewhere? I know that was kind of different, but if we ever wanted to go back, we could go back.
Yes, this is
Maybe,
true. But
maybe it is.
maybe we just need to talk to Soroka, who made this city, and see if there's a.
It's not in this district.
No, he's at the speakeasy.
Not
Maybe if we discuss with
I'm so
him.
confused.
Are you guys going to the tavern?
The door is very confused.
The door's just like.
Somebody else is calling me and they're really upset. I gotta go.
I gotta get my 5-star rating, dog.
Let's go back. We'll speak to Soroka. Maybe there's some kind of way that we can just pop in and out of wherever we want.
Okay, so you want to walk back?
I'm not walking back. I'm taking.
Okay.
You're like that
All right,
waiter
let's-
customer. The dude's just sitting there, just ding dong. Come on, man. It's for
All right,
the
let's
people's
go.
food in the
We're
car.
going
So
to
I
the
go to the door and open it.
You go through the door and you are entering a
Wood
wooden
paneled room.
with candles, but it's way more elaborate in design. Seems like there are new pieces of art on the wall. It's not blank in here.
Oh.
The art that's featured
Spruced up the
here
place.
seems to
Two
be
kids at the tavern.
seems to be of a dream
Spruced
world,
up.
fully bright.
Mm.
And you progress further in and eventually make it to the center of the tavern. Who?
Holy hell.
All right, Babel.
Mhm.
I think you were the next one. And you were heading to the North District as well.
District 1.
District 1. You're going to be seeing all these same things. Things that might stand out to you is this tall building next to this huge castle way in the distance. 6 or 7 hour walk if you were trying to calculate it. It's a huge city.
Do I see one of the guards?
Yes, you do.
Guards are earning their keep to date.
They're working, whether they want to or not.
Excuse me, I need some directions, please.
All right. Okay, where to?
A shop, a butcher's, and a bookstore.
A shop.
Yeah, I'm looking for seashells.
Well, there's plenty of boutiques and oddities along this road like that. Maybe you find some shells there.
Okay.
Butcher,
Yes.
there's fine meats to be had probably further on down.
Not,
Depends on how much money you're willing to spend.
it's not.
All of it.
So comes back with 2 big ass
You're the-
bags.
It's
of
not
shit.
so much the meat itself.
Okay.
She's buying
What do you mean?
chickens, and
I
I don't
don't
like chickens
get
so
your.
big.
Do not get what you're saying.
I want to make black pudding.
I don't think I've heard of this, but it sounds like that rich people stuff. So
No, not really. It's, you know how you don't have a lot to eat, but you have the thing.
Hobo dinner.
Mm-hmm.
nope.
It's not.
Ratatouille.
It's not. It doesn't have happy
It's
food
actually
in
really
it.
fucking good. Yeah.
All right.
So more like one that does their butchery on site.
Sadistic.
One that does
Fuck.
butchering on site.
You need blood for black pudding.
Okay.
She says to the guard.
I don't
like-
need you causing
like-
any mischief.
Like cow blood.
Okay. All right. That sounds disgusting to me, but I'm sure you'll find it down by either somewhere between Agathon's Theater and the Temple of the Breather. I'm sure you'll find a butcher if that's what you're looking for. Just bring your wallet. That's what they say in District 1.
Bring out
Bring.
your wallet.
Well, I guess they would say bring your coin purse. Is there anything else I can help you with, miss?
And I'm guessing the bookstore's down there too.
That's gonna be even further.
Okay.
Probably closer to the Dare Mallard Academy. I'm sure there's places to get books near there.
Thank you. Keep walking until I find one.
All right. So it's gonna take a while. The first place that you see, if you're looking for some seashells, are a couple boutiques, and you see in the window that there are like fancy dresses, but there's also like these contraptions that seem to be glowing like orbs of light, and then there are different things from different worlds that people have come and they've bought, and it's being bought and sold and traded within this shop. But you do see some very large seashells. Have you ever been to the sea before?
Nope.
So
But
what you may
like
have read.
the curved ones.
Yeah. So in here there are
Like a
Conch?
telephone.
Conch.
there seems to be like parts, like a whole section dedicated that you can see through the window of this one shop. It just caught your eye by chance.
You're there.
Do you go in?
No.
Okay.
That's exactly what I just went through.
No.
This is going to be
Nothing.
Oh, yeah, that's it. What
Nothing.
should we do, Almighty Conch?
Nothing.
Oh, hail the mighty
Okay.
Conch. The ranger did.
There's a elven woman, red hair, freckles, has this like blue tint to her skin. She owns the shop. She seems to be like taking money from somebody as they're leaving with a bag full of something.
She's a drug dealer.
What is something? What is something?
Hey, you show up over there. I'm the only clueless one.
Would you like to?
When she's not busy.
All right. Moment passes. She looks at you. How can we help you today?
Are those the kind that you can hear the ocean in?
I'm sure you could if you listened hard enough.
How much for them? For one.
For one, we'll sell you 15 gold.
I'm going down to the beach making some money.
All right. Jesus.
It's District 1, son.
Dude, the markup in District 1's
These are extremely rare. They come from the world of Joeith. It's called the world of the drought. It's said that these came before the drought.
Oh, it's all snooty tooty shit. That's why it's so fucking expensive.
And it has like names and like it's all like tagged
yeah,
out.
that's
Proper
why it's
boutique.
here you
Saran
go.
wrapped. Or
Shells.
Paying for the label.
Exactly. You're paying for. Oh, it came from this world.
Mason's-
I'm looking for
Mason's
a
approach on
shell that I could.
consumerism.
Fucking, I'll tell you, dude. They fucking price gouging the shit out of this shit. It's just keratin.
Here's
Fuck.
the new conch by Gucci.
So
Versace.
she puts out.
Versace
she
conch.
begins. Would you like me to wrap it up for you?
I mean, you're paying for it. You better get that gift wrapping if it's included.
Get the insurance plan while you at it.
Just like the replacement plan, it covers you if you drop it, break it, pee on it. So instead of $30.
I like how pee on it was included in the insurance policy.
What if you pee
If
in
an
it?
accident might happen.
That is actually surprisingly not covered.
Damn.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's not waterproof.
15 gold it is.
Oh, shit.
God.
And she begins to wrap it up, and the packaging she puts it in is very nice. It's definitely like coming here, like
Gucci
it's
wrap it
kind of an experience. And she's using mage hand. She's pulling out all the stops, and she finishes it and she floats it towards you. Thank you for your purchase.
Thank you.
So 15 gold with a conch shell and a couple casts of mage hand. I'm in the money, boys. Shit.
Then as you leave the store,
Probably a good idea that me and you walk together.
as you leave the store and go down, you're able to find a butcher. Your very strange request strikes him as odd, and he doesn't hesitate. But there's something. He's a plump man, and he goes ahead and sells it to you for 5 silver pieces. And you're looking just for a couple jars of
blood.
coagulated blood.
No, that's actually where
Black
you go to
blood.
get it. So
For fucking blood.
yeah, you can go
Silver.
to yeah.
I know you can.
A couple jars of blood.
Good.
Okay.
I also explained to him that I might be making a regular thing. You know, I don't know if how good I am at making black pudding, so I might take a few attempts. So
You want a recipe?
sure, if you have one.
Fine.
5
Here,
gold.
no, it's on me. He's a genuine kind of like plump man who seems like
Sure.
he enjoys, meeting strange people and giving them blood.
I need to go to that man.
You went to the wrong district.
Sure did.
Yep. So he hands you a recipe for
Black pudding.
black pudding. Dope.
Oh,
Last on your list, because there's a couple things I want to get to before we close out tonight's session.
You can skim it. I'm just buying like a kid's dictionary.
Okay. Cool.
God damn.
With like the pictures.
Oh, I'm going to critique the fuck out of all that art, too.
Okay. So as you make it down there,
Though I do look to see if chat says.
C is
I
for
look at the other
cat.
dictionary. Say up.
you look at the other dictionaries there. Okay. So you're getting closer to this academy, and there seems to be a lot more people dressed in like darker clothing and robes. The academic type are wandering around in hurries. Some of them on way to class, or some of them leaving a bookstore with new books to head to their living quarters or whatnot. So you're able to purchase these books. So you're trying to get a children's dictionary and an actual like compendium of words from other worlds, or what are you looking
specifically, if they had Chat's dictionary, the one Robert worked on.
Chat's what?
The one Robert worked on.
Okay.
You don't know who that is.
I know.
So
who the fuck is Robert?
as
Ask questions.
as they're looking through their catalog at this store, actually, this is a very rare book. I would even be surprised if it exists at the academy, but that's where I would check if you have time. But that's a whole situation. Are you enrolled in the academy?
Not currently, no.
Is that something you're seeking?
No, it's whole different mindset kind of thing.
Okay. Well, it would be just this book?
Yes.
Okay. For a loved one?
for a good friend in need.
Oh, 2 light bulbs about to make a spark.
Technically, I guess he could be like a cousin or something. So
Maybe not make the spark. Maybe not.
Alien Alabama.
All right.
I was
going to gift wrap too.
sure.
Yeah.
He gift wrapped it. He
Hey, we're in
wrapped
Mississippi, dude. We get
Um,
this shit all the time.
and he ties a ribbon around it, and I can put a tag on here. Who's the little fellow or the little girl that he's going to?
Zarandria.
Lebowski.
Lebowski.
Comma the pig.
All right, that's a strange name, but okay. And he writes it down. It'll be 3 gold.
Okay.
Thank
We
you.
just put it in this bag next to my jars of blood.
Oh my god, that is
Is that going to conclude your
They
shot?
murdered this child, but he had something peaceful to listen to.
So,
As he bled to death.
Money's my daughter, dude. Okay, so.
it's totally fine. This is what this show is for, to have fucking fun. That's the other F.
the only thing.
The 3rd and 4th F is fucking fun.
F and F.
The only thing we're missing is a sneeze from Ty.
Yeah.
I'm trying, guys. I can sneeze too. Sorry, y'all. Inside joke. So
Edit it out. Just edit all this out.
no, we're keeping it in. This is the good shit. So Babel, as you go leave the store and start to think about the daunting task of this 8 to 9 hour trip. Well, it would actually, if it was 4 hours out of the 5th district and about 8 to 9 hours to where you're at, it's a very daunting task.
If only I could get kidnapped by a tavern again.
A door comes walking up to you. Come here.
It's a big ass door with legs, and
door.
just like, and then
Like a
fucking
mimic.
it like opens up and eats you.
I'll be here, Wood.
I wish I had thought of that.
Closes halfway, so all you see is just 2 legs.
As you walk out of the bookstore, you see a door that wasn't there whenever you entered, like, but with no stairs like leading up to it. But it looks like the door that's similar to the same carpentry and the craftsmanship to the door that you left out of.
Probably says Red Cross blood
So
donation.
as you reach up to like open the doorknob, you kind of gotta climb up because there's no stairs to where the door is, and you close the door behind you. You too.
The big Lebowski time.
Boy, I wish I had a dictionary to see what a Stevie was.
You just wait. I have a feeling.
I got a feeling.
All right.
So, I take it we've been traveling a while as well.
You've made it deep into the heart of that district.
Could I have taken at least an hour's worth of time to figure out what the fuck this is while I'm walking?
Yeah.
You could ask him.
I mean, you're doing this, and you're
Oh, yeah.
you're looking it over.
Oh, dude. Bro, you could like totally look at this, can't you?
Like, man. So yeah, during our walk,
Okay.
as we're going over the map, just at some point while all this other stuff is going on.
I'll see him like struggling with it as I'm also struggling with the map, and I'll be like,
Well, I pull it out and I'm just like,
You want to trade?
"You want me to look at that for you?
can you tell me what it does?
Maybe, can you read this map?
I'm still in this game.
Gives you fantasy cancer, I guess.
Do fantasy cancer.
How long does the disguise last?
Oh, actually,
Shit.
Oh,
fuck.
Burn through all of
mine
those.
lasts. an
But
hour.
here's
my
the
chain is gone. Somebody stole it.
Here's the other thing, though. You might not remember that there's a time limit to the spell.
So you're
So.
still using that voice, but yet you look like a guy.
Yeah.
You're like
Sure,
this
why not?
suave-looking pirate.
All right.
but you sound like a
So you
fucking
take 10
buffoon.
minutes to you stop for a second and you kind of get out of the way. There's a lot of people just trying to get shit done.
I would have
somewhere like on the side of the road,
be
maybe.
like,
Yeah.
I'm blue and not a human anymore.
So as you hand the coin purse to him, you know, fuck, you see that it's your skin. But in the meantime, while you're having this crisis, like trying like to not be seen, you are examining it. You take 10 minutes and you see inside this purse is always just enough money to buy what is needed. So you pull out a coin, but immediately this sadness washes over you magically. The more you know that the more money that you pull out of this purse, the more sorrow you feel. But you think that any time that this purse is used to withdraw a coin, that you would probably have to try and resist this depression. And if you couldn't, you may suffer for it. So the more money you take out, the more you suffer. It's a very... I'm sorry,
There's
guys.
a phrase
That's
for
a very-
this.
What is it?
I'll just hand it back.
It's called the coin purse of sorrow, or you can tell them whatever you think it is.
And I'll just say,
Sad pouch. Nice.
it doesn't seem to run out of money, but
Really?
money,
Really?
I've heard this saying, I don't know what it means, but money doesn't buy happiness.
Yes! Oh.
You got it.
I take it and I'm just kind of... Fair enough. We, have completely different ideals on the subject of money, but... So while I'm in this district and in Kai form, I want to look again for wanted posters or anything like that.
Okay, make a perception check.
Because we are in District 3 now, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so... That is a 16.
Okay. You don't see any wanted posters, but you recognize this part of the city now that you've moved about 6 hours into it, and you look around the corner and you see down the way there is remnants of wreckage around. Looks like some sort of living community.
Okay.
And as you I'm guessing this might spark your interest to walk in that direction. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to try to Carmen San Diego this shit and just kind of not try to be stealthy, not look like I'm being stealthy, but if I have to pop the collar or whatever to...
You notice that there are less guards in this part of the town than further north.
Okay. Yeah, I want to get to where my ship's in sight.
Okay. You move down the city towards it, and you see that there
I'm sorry,
are.
I just want to tell him as we get ready to go. Look, I don't know if I'm going to be coming into a bit of trouble down here, but just keep a lookout for any guards, Aaron. Hey, Steve!
Sorry,
No, you're good.
important message.
One of those.
into a bit of trouble here, so might need you to watch my back.
I'll try my best.
Appreciate it. And then we'll go.
As you're moving forward, you see, like, and from what you've seen from the schematics, and as you're looking at what's ahead, there seems to be like 3 main parts to this ship that have come apart, and 2 pieces of it seem to have slid into an area uninhabited just by coincidence, but one seems to have slammed right into what used to be somebody's home, and there are people trying to clean it up loosely, or that's what you might think, but make a perception check.
Fuck, I should have asked something before I rolled that.
I think you meant just me.
Oh, did you mean just him?
You both.
Okay.
You're walking.
23.
11.
You see a small green-skinned creature, like very hideous, with like long teeth at the top of one of these heaps of the scrap. And he's pulling things out and throwing it into a bag, and then he's making his way down.
So there's no guards around?
You don't see any.
Okay.
You don't. He doesn't.
Okay.
Well, I guess since I was tasked with kind of watching his back, do I see anybody that's like trying to show him more attention? Like somebody giving him too much of a look?
For that perception check, I don't think you would have been attracting that kind of. You don't see that you've attracted that kind of attention yet.
Okay, do me a favor. I'm gonna kind of... I need you to make a distraction for me.
What for?
There's something I need off that ship, and I can't let it fall into anyone else's hands.
Zarin whips out his sketchbook,
No, this is my spell book.
spellbook.
You're gonna draw right now?
This is not the time for Hot Boy.
Do I see the green guy? Or was that just him?
It was just him.
Okay.
You do see movement and like
I can tell
piles of
something's going
rubble
on.
moving.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually, while he's doing that, I'm gonna
About what time of day is it?
make my way around it.
Like evening,
still
morning?
perpetually dawn or dusk. You haven't seen any clock towers nearby, but you notice that you left like 4:40ish, and it's been, what did I say, like 6? Took 4 hours to get through there, and then another 6. So you've been traveling for about 10 hours.
Jesus. Is there like torch lights and stuff out?
Not really.
Fuck. Cool.
It's just enough light to enjoy. It's like the golden hour all day long.
As I'm walking, I take my bandana off and
Put it around
cover
your
my face.
I'm gonna try and figure out like from the direction that he's walking to get to the ship. I'm gonna cast prestidigitation to start lighting little fires everywhere.
Oh, kill anybody on distraction. Okay.
So I could do like 3. I could do 3 things at a time.
Okay.
3 little fires at a
It's
time.
very distracting.
And then whenever it catches somebody's attention, I'm gonna like
It's a valid point.
I'll prestidigitation, and then to bring the campfire out, and then I'll bring another one, and then snuff the first one whenever it gets attention, and just kind of link them along in random places.
Okay.
As many people will be like, what?
Sounds good. So you begin to do this, and you see that he is beginning to cast some spells and starting to move things. So roll a stealth check because you try and do this and not be seen
Fuck.
doing it, right? Because casting a spell, like you're like doing somatics and doing things like Naruto.
Yeah, this one is V and S.
Verbal and semantic.
Verbal and semantic. So yes, there's both of those.
While you're doing this, the goblin's making his way back up to the top of this heap of debris.
Oh, that was almost a natural 20.
Oh,
That's
snap.
a 10.
10. Okay.
It's better
Rolled
than
back off the 20 to the
okay.
8.
All right. Well, this is how you stealth. So, you get behind what is a wall, and you start to cast a spell. And the goblin at the top of this heap, he looks down. Huh? And as he looks down, and he goes, oh, and then he slips off the heap of debris and tumbles end over end.
Good.
Lands on his ass, like spread eagle, with all the shit he was picking up from the top on top of him. Oh, and he can't lift it up off of him.
Am I over there by this time? To the
Gotta
goblin?
be.
Yes.
Okay.
Having some trouble there, and I help him up and get the stuff off of him.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
What are you doing?
Just trying to fix my fucking home. Shit came out of nowhere. This fucking city.
How'd you see the bastard that flew this thing into your home?
I know. Me and my family were just eating, and now it's just me. They're all fucking dead. Fucking
Jesus. Yep.
Let me help you.
So seeing that he is now talking to somebody, and I was told to watch his back, I'm gonna think he's in trouble.
I'm just talking, dude. Just talking. Jesus.
Context, clues. You do whatever you want, dude.
No, seriously. I'm terribly sorry to hear that.
There may or may not be a campfire under his feet right now.
Oh, it's fine. Just means more food for me, but fuck.
So you
Means
don't
more
seem
work for me, too.
you don't seem too heartbroken about your loss there, outside of the work.
They're just my cousins.
Look, I don't normally do this type of thing, but I've had a change of heart recently, and
Campfire.
you doing it? No, are you doing it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Where is it?
he just lit the camp.
Underneath his feet.
Underneath his feet.
Mine
like
are
near,
underneath the-
right by him. Enough to scare him.
Oh, okay.
Like it's close to him. Close to the goblin's feet.
Oh my god.
Is he small?
Yeah, he's
Okay,
very
I
tiny.
immediately and just set him away from it, and I look back and I'm like,
He's like, what the fuck? What the fuck was that?
while he's
What
pointing
started
down,
that
I'm like,
fire? I thought I put out all the fires.
well, that'd be about twice now I've helped you out. Speaking of which, change of heart and all that. I've come into religion, and I'd like to help you sort through all this wreckage.
What are you on about? This is my pile. This is my house. It's my pile now.
I'm about to burn your house down, guy. It's made of wood.
Did you start that fire? Where did it come from?
Fuck if I know. I just saved you from it. You should be thanking me.
Make a persuasion check.
Can I get advantage because I just pulled him out of the fire?
Yeah. I'll give you advantage.
Oh.
I got my DC right here.
Mercy.
Natural 20. Oh shit, it's -2. Wait, natural 20 is still
It's
natural.
natural 20.
Okay, natural 20. Thank you for whatever you did to that dice.
I don't know what you're on about with this religion, but fine. Okay.
Well,
You gonna help me move things off my house?
right. Why don't you take what you dropped there? I'll start on the section in the back, and then without saying another word, I actually go around and go to one of my emergency hatches and just climb in real quick.
Okay. All right. Gonna fucking put this in my bag. I'm gonna put this in my bag. All right. Put this over in this bag. He just gets back to work.
Okay,
He doesn't pay attention.
awesome.
I was like, so when is he gonna look up and be like, hey,
Exactly.
what are you doing over there?
Exactly.
So, Kai, you go over to where the escape hatch is, and you go to open it, but it's like jammed shut.
Mm.
And make a tinker check.
Okay.
Trying to get this door open. Fucking this whole campaign doors.
Yeah.
Doors.
I should have took knock.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Good thing my proficiency's double, but it's that would be 6.
It doesn't
I would
open.
like to see. Do I see him struggling? I would like to give him a bardic inspiration. So, like, I'll pull out my sketchbook and draw some random bullshits, and you'll start this, and the ink will flow off the page, and what you'll see in front of you is like little like screws maybe you could undo to access the inside to help you out a little bit more to give you a D6 added to your next roll.
Okay.
You want to make another
I
attempt?
do want to make another attempt.
Oh, fuck this. This is so heavy. I don't know how I'm gonna make a roll. You
Be
just hear
there in
that?
just a moment. What was it? D6?
Add a D6. Rolls a 1.
So that was a proficiency bonus. So that's a 26 total.
Jesus.
You follow where the sketch is going right after it, mirroring it, and you put these large bolts and screws back onto the ground. And you're able to pry open a piece that you could probably slide into. So you get up like elbow over elbow and try and get into what is now probably the upside down version of what seems to be familiar to you as your ship. Zarin, you gonna go with him?
Nope.
Okay. So as you go in, you fall to the bottom, and you clunk, clunk, clunk. And that's where we're gonna end today's session.
Ooh!
Right there. So,
And your ship takes off and crashes into a mountain and you're dead.
So your ship explodes.
actually,
Uh-oh. I was
that
joking.
is where we're gonna end today's session, for sure.
It's a perfect ending, actually. I like it.
I know we did a lot of role playing this session. I had a lot of fun.
Definitely.
What did y'all think?
Love
Your
it.
thoughts? Did you have fun?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Hated it.
Yelp review.
I always
one
hated
star.
it.
It's basically the
Sweet,
dog
sweet, delicate roleplay.
Sweet.
I wanted to thank all of you out there who made it to the end of our video. So thank you again. Thank you so much, all the support and all the commenting and sharing. It's just been wonderful. So please continue to do that. We hope that you're enjoying the story that we're telling. And we're refining our processes. You see the new overlay that's around our screen right now. This is all things that are going to change as we continue to do this. But we will see you next time.
But who's on top? Who's on bottom? You're
guys-
on bottom.
You guys are on top.
Alright, we're gonna try this.
Are we gonna
You
do it?
We're gonna
We're
try
gonna close out on high fives.
this. Yeah. You need to go up.
Where's my putting my
It
hand?
doesn't matter. We're just gonna wing it.
3, 2, 1.
Clap. Did it work?
Wow, Jesus. That was
Nobody
terrible.
got it right.
No one.
No
No
one?
one.
You know what? We're gonna leave with a solo note. Later, y'all.
Bye.